Hey, happy Black Friday. I'm still like looking at everything here. Of course, as you always, let's start with my audio, making sure everyone can hear me. So, check audio. Hi, everyone. As I'm checking audio, let's say hi to everyone who's here. And thank you so much for sharing Black Friday with me, both here and maybe you could be shopping too. So, hello to MZ, Chris, Kimberly, awesome guy at 77. John Hooper, of course, MZ, Michael Wyckoff, hey buddy, Getty G Man, Gigi Ross, and Manu Cujo. I love that name. Hey, Lisa, and everyone who just arrived. Please be patient. We might get a lot of questions, so I'll try to catch up what I can. And we'll go over my deals chart. And of course, throughout today and this weekend, deals come and go. This is when the flash deals happen. So actually between now and the end of the year, let's say December 31st, right? Even after the actual Christmas holiday, Best Buy and Amazon actually will do some flash deals that may only last 6 hours. So those are really hard for me because even when I post it, by the time I get to it and post it, you guys literally have maybe an hour left to get it. So sometimes it's good, sometimes So what I want to jump into actually are deals that I know will be going soon. And this will be actually affordable deals. Let's talk about the Apple TV real quick. So I want to show you because Apple TV, as you guys know, rarely go on sale. And if you saw my post just now this morning on Best Buy, the Apple TV is third generation, 64 gigabits. It's 123.49. So let me just put that. So this is actually very cool. Um, if you guys are looking for a streamer, the Apple TV streamer literally has the highest bandwidth, highest quality if you're into the ecosystem. Otherwise, side by side, honestly, you're probably going to have a hard time telling the difference. But Apple TV 4K is 123, and I think that sale is going to last a whopping, oh, let's see, a deal ends tomorrow. So if you guys are into an Apple TV 4K 64 gigabytes, 123.49, it's not too bad. And then the big one for me is the UB820, the Panasonic UB820. That one is down to 349, which is another great deal. Normally it's around 500, maybe slightly more depending on the time of the year it is. But 349 is actually very good. So if you guys are looking for the what I think is the best bang for the buck player, it is the UB820. It plays both Dolby Vision and HDR10 plus, but for me, what is very convenient is it automatically detects Dolby Vision or HDR10 plus and then selects accordingly. Whereas on my other budget TV or budget player that I really like is the Sony X700. It only plays Dolby Vision and HDR, and you have to manually enable Dolby Vision for content that's Dolby Vision. And if you're not watching Dolby Vision, you have to take that off manually as well. And that Black Friday deal is 159. So I use both for my reference disc reviews and so forth. So those are both highly recommended. One 350, the other 150 or so. Not bad. All right. So we'll go through the deals, but let's see if you have any questions first. I'll be here for at least the next 3 hours or so. But welcome, happy Black Friday, and I am so full. I had two Thanksgiving dinners, or it was a Thanksgiving day for me. I had Thanksgiving brunch on one side of the family, right, on my wife's side, and then and I made the turkey, right. So after all of that, I did turkey, the mashed potatoes, and then I gave myself another 5 hours. I had it again on my side. I was like, I'm so turkeyed out. My wife was like, let's do prime rib for Christmas. No more turkey. And for me, so I found a good healthy cheat. And if you guys are okay with cauliflower rice, which is crushed cauliflower, what I did was I mixed the mashed potatoes that came out of the package we got, and I mixed it with cauliflower rice. And so it has that crunch. I love texture. I don't like the mushy mashed potatoes. But not only does it add crunch, right? I put the cauliflower in the microwave for about maybe 1 or 2 minutes so that it softens up, slightly cooked, not raw cauliflower, but it's still firm. And then you mix it with the mashed potatoes, and I'm feeling guilt free. I'm getting some of that mashed potato carb, but a lot of that crispy, fibrous cauliflower that I know is good for me. So that was my big healthy contribution was cauliflower rice mixed with mashed potatoes. All right. So 80 A80L versus X93L. And of course, as you guys know, please, if I miss your super chat or your questions, remind me because I'm running a one man band today. Obviously, our friends may jump on, they may not. It is Black Friday. They might be shopping, so we might see one or two guests, but no pressure on them. If they are busy, they got to go shopping. Christmas shopping starts today, or holiday shopping, or Hanukkah shopping. Everyone wants to start on Black Friday, right? So it may just be me for the next 3 hours or so, or we may have surprises, hopefully pleasant surprises, right? So, hey, EK Rainbow 62, A80L versus X93L 65-inch. So you're comparing two different technologies, right? A80L is an amazing OLED, and it has two things that the X93L does not have. First, and the most important is it's an OLED panel. That means you're going to get infinite contrast, no blooming. It will be shockingly good. If you've never had infinite contrast on your TV, right? If you're coming from an older LCD TV, this is a big jump in performance. And the one extra thing it has is the XR Clear that's unique to a lot of the new 2023 models. Unfortunately, the X93L, although 2023 model, does not have the XR Clear. It's a carryover rebranded or repurposed model from last year. The X95K is now called the X93L, nearly identical in every way except updated firmware. And some say the X93L may actually look a little bit better blooming control, but the A80L has no blooming at all. So unless you are fearful of OLED for whatever reason, I definitely recommend the A80L. So hopefully that is helping your decision making. And looking at the prices real quick here, I don't have the X93L listed because I'm not a fan of that premium. It's still quite expensive, but the A80L at a 65-inch size right now, let's see here. Let me use my chart. 65-inch. 1699 at Best Buy. So this is something else that I recommend you guys look at. I included VE Electronics, and this is the reason why. So Electronics is owned by Robert Zone, one of my close friends, and he will price match Best Buy, but he will give you two additional discounts or deals, bundles, so to speak. He will match Best Buy's pricing. Plus, he will offer you 5% off store credit on any accessory you want to throw in there. The Panasonic UB820, right? You'll get 5% towards the purchase of that. So he'll price match Best Buy, and he'll give you the 5% store credit. Plus, if you're outside the state of New York, he will also pay for the sales tax. So for many of you, that's an extra 7, 8, 9% discount on top of that. So that's something to think about. He carries Sony, LG, and Samsung. So if it's something that you want to talk to him about, definitely I encourage you to reach out to him for that. But yes, in this case, Kramer 62, I recommend you go for the A80L. Now, if you do go for the X93L, go bigger, get more immersive. That is the only reason I would choose a non-OLED. If it's different sizes, then bigger, more immersion actually may do something for you. But I go with 85-inch X93L, if there's such a thing. I don't know. Does it even come in 85-inch this year? Oh, yeah, it does come in 85-inch this year. But then that might be a bit above your budget. So, all right. I think I saw a super chat right here. Hey, Getty G Man, let's see what you got. I'm recovering from food coma, turkey galore. It's so funny you mentioned food coma because, as you know, turkey has a protein that also results in sleepiness. I forgot what that protein was called. Uh, it'll come to me like in the middle of the stream. It'll like, oh, I remember what it is. Tryptophan, right? I think that's it. Something like that. And so anyway, that actually adds to your sleepiness. So not only do you have postprandial sleepiness just from eating so much, but then turkey adds an extra chemical bump to make sure you fall asleep all the time. And so those of you just joined us, if you just want to check out the chart, I've linked it in my video description, and it's also pinned to the top of the chat. So you go straight to it and you look at the prices and you can ask me. And speaking of prices, I wanted to show you guys that my Samsung price deals are unique to members of the offer program. So I'm going to give you a quick tour how to get there so we can get that done, because a lot of you guys asking, wait a minute, how do I get these special prices and so forth? So let's do that right now. We're going to do the Samsung shop offers, program offers, and then you guys can see how that works and where to find it, because it's not easy to find. Okay, so I'm in the special deals offer, right? In this case, it's the CU7000. And as you can see, it says, welcome to the Samsung Education Offer Program store. So apparently AAA is affiliated with that, I guess. I don't know. I'm actually a AAA member, but I'm getting pricing that's accessible to educators and those related to the edu.edu program. And but if, let's say, you don't know how to get into it, or you don't know if you're a member or not, you might be. On the top of the page, right? Shop right here, offer programs, and this is all the different programs, right? So you have education offers program, first responders, military offer, government offer. I guess they assume you're a government worker, employee. So when they say employee, employee of Samsung, but employee of corporations that are using Samsung's benefit affiliate partnership so that they can offer their employees these deals. So it depends if your company has it or not. Definitely reach out to your company's benefits division, HR, and ask them, hey, are you guys part of Samsung's offer program? And Galaxy Campus Stores, I think that's for the students out there. So once you validate you're in here, you'll have a special portal, right? So for me, I use the AAA portal. For others, you go right here, you log in with your ID. They've already validated or verified you, and then you'll get the special pricing. But here's the part that they don't tell you. And this is where you get the really good deals, right? So I'm going to go to a very popular TV. Let's go to the S90C. And a lot of people are saying, wait, how are people getting these amazing prices on the S90C? And we'll go through that right now. Let's click on OLED TVs real quick right here. Where are my, oh, here we go. All right, so here we are. Okay, so let's see, the 77-inch. If I click on that right there, it shows $24.99, or the 83-inch shows, you know what? I'm gonna have to click on it. Page not found. Of course not. Like, oh, the internet. All right, let's try this again. Okay, here we go. So these are not deals. This is what the normal people see, right? $34.99, $24.99, $12.99. These, and so this is something that a lot of people complain about. Wait a minute, what happened to my great deals? The way to get the deal, even though you're logged in as a member, sometimes it freaks out and it shows you higher prices than you expected. Right here, where it says chat about Black Friday deals. You click on that and you get into their chat feature, and you immediately tell them, hey, I am a program offers member, whatever that may be, AAA or whatnot. The chat representative will help walk through that login again, or they'll just make sure they validate you or whatever. And then they will give you the best deal available. So right now, what I found is, for example, the 83-inch WOLED S90C. So it's $34.99 to the general public, which is what Best Buy has as well. For the offers program, it's actually dropped to like $27, $28.99, something like that. And then when you ask them for more deals, they'll go, you know what, let me see what I can do. And they'll drop another $100 to $200 off. So you're down to maybe $2,700 for the 83-inch. Or on the 77-inch, people are paying $1,800 right now. So you're seeing $24.99. Oh man, that's expensive. And then you get the offers deal. Let's say you log in, you get that. Oh, wow, that's not bad. $21.99, let's say, or $19.99. And then you click on the chat and you say, look, I know you could do better because I'm struggling. I love Samsung, whatever, however story you want to play it out. But basically now it's between you and the chat rep to see if you could convince him to get another $200, $300 off. And so currently these things are like going gangbusters for Samsung. Those that know to go to chat. And even if you're not a member, go to chat anyway and ask. A couple of people have actually had success doing that. And what I thought was very cool is, let me put this over here. The soundbar deals right now are just phenomenal. So I'm going to click on the soundbar deal really quick before I forget. It's just so many things I wanted to share with you guys today. Okay, so this is member pricing. So for some reason, the soundbar now is giving me member pricing. And remember when the 990C was only $800? I suspect that if you go to chat and you said, I missed the not Black Prime Day. I missed your Prime Day deal where you offered this for $799. Can you give it to me? You might be surprised. They might give it back to you at $800 because this at 800, okay, at under 1,000, it's a no-brainer. What an amazing deal. And you get at 800, that's like the deal of the year. That has been my favorite deal all year long. But for those, let's say this is still a little bit rich for your blood, the 910C at $593, even without asking for any more deals, this is quite impressive because you got the subwoofer, the surround, and the soundbar. The difference is, of course, there's more power in the 990C, right? Slightly more powerful subwoofer and the like. But if you're in a smaller, medium-sized room, this is fine. And definitely for $593, I cannot imagine another soundbar anywhere at this price that comes close to this performance. So at this price, it is so recommended. And I'm sure if you ask them for more discounts, you might even get it at $499. And that just blows me away. So yeah, Samsung is killing it with these deals for their offer members. But don't forget, this is it. This is the secret. Try to get in line and ask for deals. So let's see if I got any questions going here. What do you think about the TCL Q7 65-inch for $650? This is a great question because if you saw my live stream comparison, I like the Q7 a lot. Like it is my favorite TV of the year for the price. You get so much performance for whatever you're paying for. In this case, the Q7, let me check my chart here real quick. Throw it in there. So 65-inch Q7. Wow. It's so inexpensive, it fell below my radar because it starts at 800. It's a good deal, but I think it might even be cheaper. Let me double check the price for you real quick. I was like, where did it go? Why is it not on my chart? Because that's 65-inch. It's such a great price. It didn't even make the chart. Yes, $650, excellent price. Now, let me tell you how good it is. It has less dimming zones than the U7K, but I found it to be both better in contrast and a more even blooming control. Now, both the Q7 and U7K have blooming. Obviously, they don't have enough dimming zones, but the mini LED in the U7K doesn't make it better. It's actually, in this case, I have to hand it to the Q7. Its software algorithm is better than the U7K in terms of tone mapping, right? Tone mapping on this Q7 to me is near flagship level. I'm just amazed at how good it is. The problem with the Q7 and with all the TCLs this year, the colors are a bit off, meaning it probably requires a little bit of TLC in terms of calibration for those who do calibrate. And even then, it's not always perfect. So get the Q7. If the colors are really off and, adjusting the warm and all the other stuff that's on the TCL doesn't do it for you and it still looks unnatural, go to the U7K. So the U7K out of the box, more often than not, its skin tones are a bit more natural or more accurate. But the Q7 is just a hodgepodge. Sometimes you're lucky and it nails it out of the box, and sometimes you're not. But if you want to stick with the Q7, you might have to swap until you get that skin tone that fits what you want with its warm color, right? Because it's either too warm or too cool. its settings are a bit rough. And the U7K has more fine tuning, and you could even calibrate it to a finer degree if you want to do it yourself, if you have the meters, or if you want to bring someone over to do it. But the reality is the Q7, though, I wish it had everything. So try the Q7, see if it works, and let me know what you think. Hey, thanks for that super chat. Friendless in the Philippines. Are you guys celebrating in the Philippines? I know you went to Costco, so you're friendless in the Philippines, but you still live in the US apparently. Got the 65-inch A80CL. That's the Costco version, right? With a C. From my bedroom at Costco. 5-year warranty. Love it. And 15 Bravia Cora credits with backlit remote for yours and Brian's, from yours and Brian's recommendation. Congratulations, and you're welcome. So if you guys don't have a Costco membership, this is great for you guys, right? But if you have a Costco membership, that 5-year warranty, it has to be said, unfortunately, when you buy expensive TVs, sometimes they don't last beyond 3 years. Doesn't matter the brand. Samsung, Hisense, TCL, Sony, LG, no matter what you pay for, they're electronic products, and it feels like the quality, the overall, just not just quality control, but the quality, the workmanship of these TVs have taken a downward spiral over the years. And if you can get it at Costco with a 5-year warranty, after 3 or 4 years, you're out of luck. But at Costco, 5th year, you're still covered. So I highly recommend it. And if you do buy, whether it's Valley Electronics or Best Buy or Amazon, I am now suggesting you pay a little extra, like let's say you save a lot of money because it's Black Friday. Take the savings and apply it to the extended warranty, because it doesn't matter if it's LCD or not, by the way. OLED, LCD, OLED's got the burn-in, LCD's just got failure overall. If you go to Artings, they have their durability, longevity test. You'll see that the TVs that break down is both OLED and non-OLED. And all brands, not just Hisense and TCL, but Sony's flagship models like the A90, X95, was it the X95J, K? It was one of Sony's top tier LCDs. It failed, right? So I strongly recommend getting an extended warranty when you're paying that much. Get it on a good deal day, Prime Day or Black Friday, and take the savings and apply it to your warranty. And with Robert Zone, you got the 5% credit. Take the 5% credit, apply it to the extended warranty. Now you're covered. So that's just something to think about. But thank you for following our advice and sharing how much you love the A80CL. I love how Costco kind of renames everything to allow them to compete with the other stores, but not call it a price comparison between two of the same models, because this is not the A80L, it's an A80CL, right? But Best Buy often does match Costco, even though they changed the name. So something to think about. All right, let's see what questions you got. Hey, season's greetings. Season's greetings to you, Will. Okay, great question. What do you guys think about the Bose ultrasound bar? So Sig, my beef with Bose. Oh, that's nice alliteration. My beef with Bose is this. You're paying so much for the name. The Bose name, it's R&D, it's research, all of that, the branding, the marketing. So much of that price goes into what you're paying for, not necessarily into the sound quality or into anything else. Now, Bose is not terrible, but it doesn't matter what the price is. There's a better sound bar for a little bit less, unless you're loyal to the brand for whatever reason. So let's look at the Bose Ultra soundbar real quick. So we can give you a better soundbar for a similar price. So the Bose Ultra soundbar, $799, and that makes me so sad, because first it's only $100 off, right? It's normally $899, now it's $799, and all you're getting is a sound bar. Now I know it's highly rated, right? So you got a lot of people happy with it, but how can you get a sound bar wrong? I mean, it's just a sound bar. Either works or it doesn't. Maybe not. Yeah, some sound bars actually don't work, but $799. I mean, for that much, you have other options. For example, I would actually get the Sonos Arc. The Sonos Arc is still a bit expensive, but you're getting your whole house, you're getting the music profile, you're getting the ecosystem that comes with Sonos. But 799, you guys saw that on the Samsung. You're getting for less than $600 if you're one of the member programs for sure. You're getting surround plus a subwoofer and the soundbar. Whereas on the Ultra soundbar, it's just the soundbar. So I think you're overpaying a bit. You'd do better. Let's say if you're looking at Best Buy, regardless. So I'm going to put in Samsung and see what their deal looks like on the Q990C, just out of curiosity, right? So yeah, it's still expensive at $1399, but then they have only at Best Buy the Q series for $989. It's the Q930C, and that gives you a lot more for an extra $189. You're getting a subwoofer and two surrounds, and that's immersion. So, yeah, I think Bose is a bit expensive for what you're getting for sure. Not that it's terrible, it's just kind of overpriced. Oh, wait. This I gotta share this. Fernando, congratulations. You got the 83-inch S90C. Yes, it's not QD OLED, it's WOLED, very similar to the LG C3. I just got the 83-inch S90C for $2670. Boom. So Fernando, share with us, how did you get it for $2670? Did you use the chat feature, talk to the rep? Are you a member of a program? Or does your uncle work at Value Electronics, right? I don't know. Let us know. How did you get there? Because everyone else may want that deal. Oh no, but Dan didn't get such a great experience. I tried using the Samsung chat, and the person I talked to literally tried to pull a scam on me. I asked for my phone number, which I gave him, and then texted me different links asking me to click. Unbelievable. So we don't, first of all, we don't know where these chat representatives work. They're not working at Samsung headquarters in Korea, right? They could be anywhere. Philippines, Thailand, Eastern Europe, who knows, right? So he has a side gig going on. And he's like, no one's looking. Hey, Dan, I got a link for you. Forget Samsung.com. Program member, forget it. Click on my link and I'll get you a real deal. This is the modern version of the unmarked white van with no windows, right? Driving up, trying to sell you what were those Serwin Vegas for cheap? Dan, I'm so curious. Where would the link take you, right? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. That's just so crazy. Hey, Stanlugs, what is the offers program you need to be a part of? So, if you watched earlier in my video, I gave you guys a tour. If you go to the top of Samsung and you'll see shop on the top menu, click on shop, it'll say program offers, and you'll see the programs available, right? Government workers, employees of certain companies that work with Samsung, educators, and so forth. Let me know if you find it. And if not, I'm going to put out a video showing how we get there shortly, probably later this weekend. Hey, Caveman is sharing. Sony A75L is on sale for $1499. $1499. 65-inch OLED, Sony A80L, or Sony A75L. Differences. Okay. And just better sound and multiple stand positions. Yep. That's it. And a microphone on the TV, right? So if that's important to you, this is why we're recommending the A75L. Get the A75L. It's less expensive. It's got the XR clear. Those are the most, and it's OLED. So those are the most important features. But if you need stand options where it, narrow wide, high low, something like that, then the A80L, and the audio is louder, right? So the audio goes a little bit deeper, a bit louder. If those things are important to you, then the A80L, like most people don't want to get a sound bar. So yeah, we love both A75L and A80L for most people. Now, if you are like Lisa, who has a QD OLED, the A95K, and she has the A80L, the best of all worlds, you can then enjoy QD OLED's super awesome high luminance color in the HDR content that deserves it. And the A80L is just the best OLED for the regular Joe, right? And and saying hi to everyone as we're going down. And again, please. Oh, wow. Got a bunch of super chats here. So here we go. And here we go. I'm planning on buying a 77-inch TV for my living room next year, early. Should I wait for the S90D third generation panel? I'm USA 6 months and Philippines other. Ah, that clarifies everything. So thank you again, friend for the super chat. Okay, should I wait? S90D third. I'm definitely wait if you don't have a rush, and this is why. So I'll be at Samsung Display's special technology update at CES. CES is only, let's see, December? Yeah, a little over a month away. So I'll be there. I'll be talking to Shirag. He's their product manager, product officer, engineering dude. And he's going to share with us what is updated for 2024. And if it's more like things like, longevity, where it just helps the panel last a bit longer, then oh, okay, it's just more efficiency and quality control improvements. But if it's actual performance improvements, you might want to wait. But here's something to think about, though. The performance improvements are limited by the source. If all you're watching is Netflix anyway, right, then the performance probably will not have a huge impact on you, but rather the longevity might. Like we're all into longevity, right? We want OLEDs to last as long as possible. And maybe they might improve the scatter issue, meaning in a really bright room with the sun shining directly on the OLED, the QD OLED panel, a lot of people complain that the grays are slightly lifted and that's distracting. So hopefully they might address that. So let's see, because since you're not in a rush, I would wait unless the deal is an amazing deal, like $1,000 off or something insane like that. But if there's no rush, I always tell people just wait, because the following year is normally better. Normally, not always, but normally. Hey, next up, thanks, Bill, for the super chat. What are the best settings from a new Sony A95L? So this is the great thing about the Sony A95L. Out of the box, phenomenal. You just go to professional mode, right? That's it. Everything else default, I think, looks fine. Motion, you would change to taste. So leave motion as it is. If you find it to be a bit too much stutter, where it's like kind of like this, right? This stutter jutter thing, then go to motion flow and increase it by 2 ticks to maybe 1 or 2, and that should address it. You leave everything else in default. Make sure that your tone mapping is always on gradation preferred. Consistently, that is the best. Bright is a bit still rough. I'm not a big fan of bright. Now, the last part, though, is Dolby Vision. So you have a choice. You could either use internal apps in the A95L, which work actually better for Dolby Vision content like Netflix. I found Netflix Dolby Vision on the internal app to be a bit more accurate. I mean, it's still a little bit slightly brighter, but I guess erring on the side of slightly brighter is better than erring on the side of slightly darker, right? So if you use the internal app, the Dolby Vision experience might be a little bit more accurate. If you use an external app, whether it's Apple TV or Chromecast, Fire TV, or whatever, your Dolby Vision might be a little bit too bright, and there's really nothing you can do about that. So if you're toggling or you're deciding, should I use internal or external, stick with internal. Start with that. And if you think the image quality is fine, that's it. Don't waste your money and buy an external app unless you're an Apple TV kind of guy, right? So I'm trying to think if there's any other settings, but yeah. Oh, and for sports, you could watch it in Vivid. I've found Vivid on the A95L to still be exceedingly accurate for what it is, right? It is probably the most accurate Vivid, but here's the issue. You'll get that bright punch, and then it pretty quickly drops to standard brightness. So just watch it in standard, right? So standard gets you slightly more accurate skin tones, and you don't get that brightness that starts to drift down when you're watching sports. So I tell people just watch sports in standard, and then you won't notice the dimming, because that is annoying to some people. Hey, thank you, Sean Tate, for the super chat. I picked up a Sony X90K open box display model for $800. It's a good deal, but you didn't tell me what size it is. So if it's $800 for 85-inch size, that's actually a pretty good deal. But if it's a 65-inch size, then I'd pay the extra $200 for the X95L. that's not open box, and it's $999. So let me know, Sean, how big is this TV? Right, 75-inch, not bad. 65-inch, that's a bit too much for the X90K, because the X90L definitely better blooming control. I still have it, right? I'm going to hold on to it as my standard for affordable TVs with good blooming control, and it has XR Clear. Both of those things to me are worth the extra $200. It really makes the TV an extra tier better than the X90K. All right, Johnny Five. Thank you for the super chat. Had my eye on a 77-inch S90C to pair with the Q750B soundbar. Not sure if Q Symphony is worth it. I'll tell you right now, not worth it. Q Symphony sounds cool in theory, doesn't do anything. I've tried Q Symphony with my Q990B on various TVs. Got the 8K Q900B, didn't do anything. Played with the S95C, didn't do anything. I mean, it's slightly different, but it's not what they say it is. It doesn't expand the sound, nor does it make the sound better. At most, there may be a little bit of ambiance, but it's different, not better. So don't worry about Q Symphony. Focus on the quality of your soundbar for sure. And to me, right now, the Samsung soundbar for the dollar, the best. Sony, very similar. The A7000, you buy the SW5, you buy the Surround, you're out over 2 grand or close to 2000, right? Samsung, same performance, but for less than half the price. Like current deals right now for members, right? Like $900. Like what? So yeah, don't worry about Q Symphony. Would I be missing much if I went Sony LG? No. So do not buy your TV, and this applies to Sony as well. Sony has their center acoustic matching TV. Don't get the TV purely because of audio decisions, right? If it comes with a great audio, great. But that's like number 9 on my list of important things. You would not miss anything if you went with the Sony or LG in terms of audio and matching. The soundbars that Samsung and everyone else sells, they designed that soundbar to sound and work with all TVs, not just their own. Now, if you match the same brand, the likelihood of its compatibility and handshake is much higher. So you won't have dropouts, right? But that's it. Now, like Bose doesn't have a TV. Sonos doesn't have a TV. Nakamichi doesn't have a TV. Yet people buy those off-brand soundbars that don't match their TV. So to the same extent, right? Whoever develops these brands soundbars, they're developing it in a vacuum as a soundbar first. And then second, to make sure it's compatible with their own branded TV. And that's what they test it with. But that's about it. So yeah, don't worry about it. I would recommend so let's talk about the 77-inch S90C though. That's my editor's choice. So if you are not going to get the 77-inch S90C, I would assume you're getting an A80L, and you're paying a lot more, by the way, for the A80L. The 77-inch S90C is a phenomenal deal. Now, its image quality is better than the A80L when it comes to HDR impact, overall brightness, sports watching, everything will be brighter than the A80L. However, streaming content, the A80L will clean up lower bitrate streams better. It'll be a bit clearer, sharper, and the shadows will be more preserved on the A80L because of XR Clear than the S90C. But if you're watching high quality content, Blu-ray discs, right? Streaming high quality stuff where there's no issue with bitrate, or watching on Kaleidoscape from Kaleidoscape, the S90C to me is still a better TV. So it really depends on your use case. LG, I would not even put it on the list unless it's the G3, which is a bit more expensive. So I would say it would be between the S90C and the A80L. But let me know what your use case is. Now, if you're a gamer, then sure, the LG has its unique offers. Yeah, but let me know, man. 65-inch. Thank you, Getty G-Man, for the super chat. 65-inch S90C. Safe buy for second panel by now, right? I honestly don't know. People have been asking me, and I'm trying to ask people as well. How do we know if it's a second generation? I don't know. I mean, short, first, opening the TV, looking at the panel, designation, right? The actual panel serial model inside the TV, and then know what to look for. I cannot confirm or deny. Many people claim they have the new second gen panel. I don't even know how they know that. Now, I do know that at some point in the year, all the first gen panel will be done because they stopped making it last year. And then they're going to transition second gen panel in. The question is, how do you know if your panel is a first or second gen? Statistically speaking, your likelihood that it's second gen is higher, but there's no guarantees, right? So until someone can give me a verifiable way to confirm, don't know. Hey, Johnny Five, thank you for the super chat. I sit 10 to 11 feet away, mainly stream, but would like to game PS5 or Switch. The 77-inch S90C sounds like a winner, but I'm wondering if 83-inch mini LED is better. So when you say you mainly stream, the large TV like an 83-inch, I was thinking A80L. Mini LED only comes into play if you're going, I would say, even larger than 85-inch. To me, going from 77 to 83 is still too close. I know Brian would disagree. Brian feels that 83 really is that immersion. But I'm thinking, if you're going from 77, you should go to like something really big to get that immersion, right? 98-inch, 100-inch, whatnot. Otherwise, the 77-inch S90C image quality QD OLED, I think is really phenomenal. But if you want to focus on gaming as well, what Brian did was the 83-inch Sony A80L. He got the best of both worlds. He got the image quality, the XR clear, and gaming features, or just the appearance. The gaming just looks better on an OLED. So if you're not taking gaming seriously, PS5 Switch, you're okay with it, I would say 83-inch A80L would be better because you're getting the immersion and you do a lot of streaming. You get the XR clear. It's around $45.99, I think, right now. Let's see here. The A80L, yep, $44.99 right now. And that would be my choice. If it's a bit too rich for your blood, because I know the 77-inch S90C is right now if you go to Samsung.com and go through the rigmarole of convincing them you're a member and all that stuff, you can get it for under 2,000. But let's say you get it through Best Buy and it's still a little bit above 2,000, like 2,400, right? In the $2,400 range, the Q90C is probably the best mini LED gaming TV that's not an OLED. So I would go with the QN90C, or you can save a bit of money, and this again is on the Samsung websites, with the QN85C if gaming is your thing. But it just pains me for you to go from considering a QD OLED to a QN90C. So if you can save a bit, but this is a bit expensive though, $4,500. It's almost twice as much. I'd say stick with the S90C. I'm sorry. But then you stream a lot. X90L? Actually, the X90L is not okay, actually, I take it back. The X90L is 2,000. So this could be your compromise. Switch on the X90L is fine. It's Switch, right? You're not going to get all the features of the PS5. The HDR won't be as great. However, in your next upgrade, you're at 85 inches. Upgrade to an 83-inch QD OLED. Well, you're going down 2 inches. That might hurt. Go with the Sony X90L, $2,000. I know it's not mini LED, but it's not a big deal. And let me know how it goes, because I think your streaming will take a big jump up with the X90L at 2,000. Now you're asking, well, what about the Hisense U8K or the TCL QM8? Well, if you're mainly streaming, this is the one at that size with lower pixel density, and you're sitting 10 feet away. I think you'll notice the quality of the XR Clear and the X90L. So I'd say go with that. Hopefully that just, it was like, eventually end up with a Sony X90L. So who knew, right? Great question. Oh, Christian, you're up. Hey, wait, that's not Christian. For some reason, I thought I saw Christian, and then it's like Kimberly Obushan. Thank you for the super chat. FOMO currently have a 930E Sony 65-inch, $2,500 is my limit. That's a great limit, by the way. A lot of good TVs there. And thinking about the S90C 77-inch or the QMA 85-inch, get the S90C 77-inch. Now, here's the problem. 10 to 11 feet viewing in light-controlled room, sports, streaming, and movies. Definitely the man, 10 to 11 feet though, $2,500 limit. But you're coming from a Sony 930E 65-inch. You're not sports, streaming, and movies, light-controlled room. That's far away. 77-inch from 10 to 11 feet is, I'm so tempted to ask you to try out the TCL 98-inch right here, down here. It hits your $2,500 limit. It's 98 inches. And so this is what I'm saying. It is better than a projector, and it's light controlled room, meaning it's not completely dark, but you're controlling the lights. And the S5 doesn't have any mini LEDs. It should be better than your 930E in many, many ways. And that immersion. And you're 10 to 11 feet away. This is so perfect from 10 to 11 feet away. The S90C is definitely better image quality, but at 77 inches, to me, okay, it's still a jump up from 65-inch. Get the 77-inch or the 98-inch. Skip the 85-inch QM8 because that extra few inches, you might as well go all the way to the 98-inch or focus on that HDR pop that you will get with the S90C 77-inch. So, you're coming from a Sony. I cannot have you go to a TCL because the colors will be off, to be honest with you. And the QM8 has the same problem. The S90C is actually very accurate out of the box. Its skin tones actually are very good out of the box. It's actually very close to Sony, essentially, now, right? In the past, no. So go with a 77-inch S90C because you're going from a 65. You're still getting bigger. So it'll be bigger than what you had before. And you're accustomed to Sony skin tones. I think the S90C will impress you. And then your next upgrade, 98-inch OLED, 97-inch OLED. So S90C, 77-inch. And you'll be within your $2,500 limit. Let me know how it goes. And if you can, add in an extended warranty, just because TVs today are not built as well as the 930E that you have. I know, sad day, right? All right. Hey, Shravan Kumar Kanan. Hey, FOMO, thanks for your answer to my chat during the previous stream. You're welcome. I ordered 75-inch X90L. Should I use my Apple TV first gen or upgrade to the third gen? So use your Apple TV 4K. If your first gen is 4K, stick with it. Third gen added more memory, faster processor. I think the third gen really is geared towards people who want to do cloud gaming on the Apple ecosystem. If your first gen is 4K, you're good to go. No need to change. If it's not 4K, if it's a 1080p first gen, then upgrade to whatever is 4K on the Apple TV device list that's inexpensive. I know that Best Buy has a sale right now on Apple TV, $123. But let me see. Let me check Amazon real quick, because Amazon also has some flash sales on their Apple TV devices, sometimes $89. So let's see here. Amazon. No, nothing special on Amazon. Oh, here we go. No, it's renewed. Yeah, just the best deal right now is at Best Buy for $123. It's the 4K basic. If you already have 4K though, you're good to go. No need to upgrade. Hey, friendless, you can check S90C second gen from the service menu. See? So that begs the question, what are you checking? Does it say second gen? And we're here. I'm going to wait for our guest to wave his arms, making sure he's ready, because as we know, makeup takes a while. And He's
Oh, my bad.
on.
Am I
Look
in?
at
Am I in?
that.
Little Bruges. Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Little
How are you guys?
Rouge. You know, I thought you
I'm
said Little
sorry. I am
Bruges.
a little Bruges, a little blush. I'm sorry I'm so late, guys. How was everybody? What's up,
Oh, don't
brother?
worry about it, man. I didn't even expect you to come here. I shared the link to everyone who
Come
wanted
on,
to,
baby. You know.
take time out, come on, have fun. So yeah. What'd you eat? What'd you eat for Thanksgiving last night?
Bro, man, I paid for it all morning and all night. You guys don't need the details, but just left the gym which is basically church after that meal, but I'm ready to rock. What are we talking about?
Temple,
What do we got?
the Temple of
TVs?
Weights. Oh,
Oh
okay.
my
I
god,
wanted you to
jeez.
see my recommendation. You're gonna love this. Wait, I'm gonna go back to this one. This I was struggling with it, and I talked myself into this answer. So Kimberly was asking. She's going from a Sony 930E, 65 inch, right?
Kimberly. Oh my god,
Her
we have
limit.
another female in the house.
I know, it's so rare. They show up on Black Friday. I never see them again until the next Black Friday. Her limit is
Yeah,
$2,500.
other than Lisa, I know is in the house. What's up, Lisa? Okay.
Don't go, Lisa. Just stay
Okay.
forever. $2,500 limit. Thinking about
Please.
S90C, 77 inch, or the QM885. So here's the thing: 10 to 11 foot viewing distance. And right away, I was rushing to the $2,500 98 inch TCL S5.
Oh
Then
my
I
god,
stopped
you
myself.
what
No,
are
wait a
Getty
minute.
because Getty G-Man's in the
I
house?
said,
That's why.
no. No, I said, wait, but TCL colors may not have the same natural skin tone that she's used to on the Sony. And so at the end, you know what? You're getting larger with a 77-inch S90C anyway. And I found the S90C out of the box to be very close to Sony. So I recommended, go ahead, get the S90C Sony 7. But her limit's 2,500 though. So, I mean, she can go
Too
with the
small.
85-inch X90L. 1999.
Too small.
Sony X90L is 85-inch. Right? It's still
Kimberly,
Sony.
listen
Actually,
to me.
you know
Listen
what?
to me, Kim.
Wait, no.
Let me go with
Actually,
Kim.
I take it back. Sony X90L, 85-inch. Why
Oh
wasn't
my
I
god.
thinking about that?
No,
Okay.
dude.
All right. What are you saying?
Kim, it's just me and you now. Let's talk. First of all, that's the TV she's replacing. That's most important. The TV she's replacing is legendary. The 930E is perhaps the best edge-lit TV ever made because it had edge-lit, but it had almost a full array of feel. Very bright, very punchy. The X90L is not going to do it for you. It's not bright enough and it's not punchy enough. You're going to have to go QM8 at 85. The S90C is not going to do it for you either. So is that in the budget?
X90L.
X90L is not going to do it. The local dimming is not good enough. Even the 930E. See, the 900 series that year crushed the blacks. So she's going to be allergic to the local dimming of even the X90L. It's not going to be dark enough for her. And she needs something brighter than the 930E. The 930E is brighter than the X90L.
See, this is the wisdom that we were missing. All this time I've been misleading our viewers to getting things that just
FOMO wants everything at 100 inches now. It's his new thing. He's like, yo, 100 inch? They're like, FOMO, I need a 42 inch for the bathroom. Go 100 inch, baby. Get 3 of them. I mean, all seriousness, the 930E is one of the best TVs ever made. The 900E, 940E, Z9D. Sony really changed their blooming and everything after that for a long period of time. The X90L would be a step back for her. The X90L's processing is clearly a jump up, but I would say she's too far away for, I mean, it's just 77 and 11 feet is pretty far away. I know because my TV's, my 77 is too small at that distance. So I'd like to see her stay with an LED and go 85.
All right. I have to scroll up and look for Kristen's chat. I saw it, I clicked on it, and then it disappeared. Oh, I got you.
Hello?
I'm like, what happened? Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you. I'm just messing around with you. Okay. I'm all fired up now. That's why I came late.
All right. Christian,
how are you guys?
What happened to your chat?
Everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Those of you that are in the States?
Klassen is selling melatonin, apparently.
Nice. I don't need actually, I don't need that. Actually, it's
Christian, where is your super chat?
Happy Thanksgiving, Classy.
Oh my gosh.
Classy, gotta come calibrate this A80L for me, bro. If you're ever in town.
And okay. I'm so sorry, Christian. I cannot seem to find Christian anywhere. I saw Christian. I clicked on it and it became Kimberly Obushan. Oh, and here, Kimberly has been following us in the shadows.
Well, say hello because I think my analytics are like, what's your percentage of female followers? Mine is like 0.5.
Wait,
It's
Caleb is
Lisa,
here?
Lisa
Wait,
Jen,
Is Caleb with Lisa or Caleb is in the chat? I'm very confused.
Caleb Dennison in the house. I don't know about that. What's up, Money
No,
Cujo?
no,
What's up,
maybe
everybody?
Caleb Dennison's at Lisa's house. It's
Oh,
very
Caleb.
ambiguous. Oh, there he is.
That's not real. That's not really him. The first time
Hey,
Caleb
hey,
ever
hey.
said anything on my channel, I'm like, "That's not you." He goes, "No, it's me." I'm like, "Whoa, what's up, Christian?"
Okay, Christian. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it. I will find it, my friend. I'm so sorry. I don't know where the heck it went.
How are
I'm
you
gonna
guys?
blame
Go
this on
go look
YouTube.
for it. Go look for it. I'll talk to him for a little bit.
Oh, I found it. It's
Oh,
right
you got it?
here.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. I found it,
Love
Christian.
Tech Lynn is in the house too. We got 3 women. What's up? I'm gonna call Jennifer
All
Godla,
right.
get her in here.
So I'm going to type up Christian's super chat so that we can get his question properly addressed. So 1 second here.
I don't know who this fake Caleb is. Almost like Caleb Dennison for real.
Hey, Caleb, I gave you the link, buddy. You can join anytime, unless you don't want us to see your under eye darkness because you stayed up late partying.
Was he out late? We got Kimberly in the house, Lisa in the house. We had Love Tech. Lynn was in the house. That's 3 out of 200. What do you got for viewers right now? We'll take it.
Let's see.
Gigi, is there 4? Oh, wow. Very cool. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
This is so strange.
How was everyone's Thanksgiving? I'll let FOMO figure that out in the background. How are you guys doing? Are you guys in the market presently for a TV? I know Getty G-Man just bought himself a 100-inch. Getty G-Man, let me know how you are liking the Hisense. How's the screen uniformity? How is all that? Let us know. John Hooper from Vienna, what's up? Mad Pistol, I'm a girl too. Just kidding. That would be weird. All right. T-Bug, what's happening? It might be for our channels, yes.
Hey, Derek, you got to ask in chat. Go to their chat and definitely ask them. So apparently you can get, it's a second gen from the service menu. We don't know what that is though.
Kimberly said, it's my husband's fault. He is obsessed with you guys and now led me down the TV rabbit hole. Fantastic. Tell him. Oh, and you're on your own account. The funny thing is, once in a while, we'll think we'll have a lady, and it'll be some young kid on his mom's account. So, Kimberly, tell him we said hi.
Hey, Christian, thank you for that super chat, buddy. I'm pretty much set to buy a 98-inch QM8, but I can't get over the $6,000 price. You're right. You cannot. Not when the U8K
you said you cannot.
It's $3,000, right? And that's why that's still available. The U8K is never available. I'm hoping to buy it for 3 to 4 next year. Yes. Do you think it will get there next year? If so, when? So if you notice, TCL has a huge margin of these TVs. Once the 2024 TVs are announced, so at CES, they'll announce it. Once they launch their replacement TV, this thing will drop like a rock. So hold on, wait, and you might end up waiting for the new 2024 98 or 100-inch TV. But we'll know at CES. So Brian and I were so excited to go to CES and find these new things. And so we will let you know what to expect in the 98 to 110-inch range. And at that point, if it's that much better than the QM8, oh yeah, definitely wait.
FOMO, don't you feel that
spring,
CES
wait till spring
for Hisense? Don't you think for CES, Hisense and TCL, I think that's where the giant TVs are going to show up this year.
Yes,
I think that's going to be their edge. Also want to say hi to our Lisa, who's in the chat. We have another female in the chat. Apparently follows FOMO, doesn't follow me, but that's all right. It's okay.
It's because they think I'm you. We look so similar.
We do look similar. I'm actually bigger than you today. I'm a little. Am I too close? Are you too far? I'm rocking the hats from now on. I cannot wait for CES, brother. Cannot wait.
Oh, I can't wait.
Is Caleb going to CES again this year? Caleb
he has to. If he doesn't go, that means he's going solo. Hey, Calvin, thank you for the super chat from about 8 feet. 83-inch A80L. Oh, that's Brian. 8 feet, 83-inch, or 77-inch G3. Lots of shows and movies, 10% gaming. A80L is about 1,000 more than the G3 though. So, Brian, this is your story. You actually considered both those TVs.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you guys got to remember that price jump. Remember the price. All right, see you later, FOMO. That price jump.
I'm
would
out
be
of here.
At times, FOMO, you remember when a 55-inch TV to 65 would be, the difference in that size would be a couple $1,000s.
Yes.
So when you get to that heavyweight division from 77 on to 80, you are going to pay a premium. But the difference in size is massive. It's 16%. I've had them both. I do have a 77. The A80L is fantastic. Your percentage of gaming leads me there. It's good enough for gaming. It doesn't have all the features of all the other TVs, but the 83-inch G3 is not an option. The processing on the A80L, the chassis is an A90J. It is a Master Series in terms of its build quality. It's an A90J. I can't recommend it enough. I love the TV, and the processing is unreal. I'm talking about Apple TV, Blu-rays, anything I put on it looks fantastic. Even old films, I can't recommend it enough. And that difference in price is well worth it, as that difference in size is a big jump. Trust me. It doesn't sound like a lot. And I know you guys like to take the ruler and say, well, it's only this much diagonally. Think height, think width. You're like, what's only here? But think about it. It's a big difference. And, 77 just not big enough for your seating distance.
And back to Friendless's advice. So, J.R. Fraser tells us how we can find it in the service menu. Friendless in the Philippines said that we can go in the service menu and it will tell you that it's a second gen. And J.R. Fraser is saying, okay, you go into the service menu, you look for the week of manufacture. I'm assuming as late as possible, fall. And then the ANA peak values. So 682 is Gen 1, 512 or 588 is Gen 2. Where do you guys get this information?
What are you talking about? Is this to shut off? Is this to shut off?
I don't know, but that's second gen. So, so here's the thing. I can see it now. Yeah, Best Buy. Open the box, plug it in. I got my special remote here because only the special remote, right? Service menu. Sorry, Best Buy. You got a first gen. I'm out of here. And I wonder if that's the reason to return it, right? So, hey, thank you for that, JR. Now we know. Now people are going to rush in there, turn on the service menu. Oh, my TV suddenly sucks.
But if you do that to Best Buy, you're only doing that to a display model, right? Correct?
That is true.
That's not their stock.
And maybe everything that came after the display model, was
shipped display
later,
model's
right?
been there for a minute, so they're not even the same. Damn. Start ripping them open. Zip.
Hey, Sean Tate, thank you. The size was 75-inch for the open box X90K, $800. Okay, that's a little bit better. Is there a big difference in picture quality between the X90K and X90L? I hate to say this, but the answer is yes.
Yeah, there is.
Two big jumps. First, they completely just improved their local dimming algorithm. So, not to say that you should care. If you've been watching this X90K and you don't notice the blooming and everything is A-okay, then you're good. Don't worry about it. The issue is that the X90L, its blooming control is a bit better. Its contrast is significantly better. The blacks are deeper. And it just feels like it's a whole different TV. Normally, generation to generation, they're very close. This X90L with its XR clear and the software algorithm, it doesn't have that many more dimming zones, like 10. It's the software that's the difference. Yeah. So you have an immersion though. 806 for 75-inch, that's actually very good because the X90L at 75-inch, I think I just updated it, is $1,499. It's not worth $700 more. I mean, it's better, but you're getting 75 inches. So I think you're okay. If it was a bit more that you paid, I would just jump to the 75-inch on the X90L. What are your thoughts? Guys, I know this is you. This is tech therapy. You're trying to calm Sean down. He got such a great deal at an open box. I don't want to make him feel bad because if you're enjoying a 75-inch, it's actually a pretty good TV. No, Brian says no.
No. I'm agreeing. Something was looking at me. I agree. I just, you know what, guys, there's certain TVs where it's okay to go back to last year, the C3 and the C2, obviously. is one of them. Maybe Q90C, Q90B, another. But Sony's real difference this year has been the XR Clear. So it's really hard to
Yeah.
recommend a TV. We're having a hard time recommending the X93 for that reason, and that's a very good
Yes.
TV, especially at 85.
Oh, it's got twice the dimming zones or 3 times the dimming
Yeah.
zones.
So
Right?
I mean, it's just in order to get what you would want from Sony, you really have to stay with this year. So it is a big difference. And the X90 has become, it was their bargain entry to high. They're now treating it as their mid LED. So they're putting more emphasis on the speakers, on the build quality. It doesn't feel quite as cheap as the
Yeah.
X90J did, right, FOMO? So
Oh, the
they're really,
X90J was a disaster.
so they're kind of upping it into this interesting category of their mid to high. I don't think you're going to see an X93 anymore. You're going to just see the X90. So that's why we recommend it so often.
Yes, and Johnny 5, thanks for taking the time. You feel my TV pain.
Oh, we all
Every
feel
time I hear that, I think of Brian's Best
of me,
Buy
baby.
walk of shame.
Yeah, I might one of the best. My Best Buy video's up right now,
He's carrying
And-
TVs back and forth from Best Buy.
and I swear they still scatter when I walk in. They're like, "Oh my god, what's he
It's
bringing
that
back?"
guy. Now
guys,
he's a YouTuber.
And you guys talk money. The TVs I was bringing back there were like $7,000, $8,000. So that was in 2016, 2017. And I had the 900E was the one I ended up settling for, the 75-inch.
Johnny asks, is that a gaming upgrade to go from a 65-inch X900E to an 85-inch X90L? Oh, absolutely. It's in
course.
so many ways, right?
Mhm.
Yes, it's an upgrade. So
I mean,
I'm
the
not going to say
900E
anything
was-
else, right?
Yeah, the
That's it.
900E was amazing, but it was bare bones in terms of gaming. Just plug it in and play. It didn't have a very good input lag. Its pixel response was typical. Now you have the game bar, you have VRR, you have HDMI 2.1, 4K 120, so you're good to go. There's no way it's not an upgrade.
And Johnny follows up, appreciate you both. We appreciate you all. Had all the lean turkey breasts. So I was telling people that I feel so turkeyed out. And I gave them my trick for Thanksgiving because I was in charge of the turkey and the mashed potatoes. And what I did was I mixed the mashed potatoes with cauliflower rice. And so half of it was actually healthy fiber and vitamins from.
The question is, did you tell anybody you did that, or you snuck it in? I know you snuck it in.
Oh, no. They saw me doing it. I'm like, why are you mixing
They're like, what
in
the hell are you
the
doing?
cauliflower rice? I go, it's to add texture. It's to add fiber. And they loved it. So it's going to be a thing at our house for moving forward because cauliflower doesn't have a unique taste of its own. Once you mix it with, mashed potatoes and you put on the gravy, all you have is the texture of the cauliflower that has that firm crispness. And I love texture, right? So yeah. that was my
Lisa
big-
said crunchy mashed potatoes, yuck.
Oh, come on, Lisa.
Lisa, he's trying to sneak some sauerkraut in his mashed potatoes.
Well, it's like peanut butter. Are you a smooth peanut butter kind of guy or a crunchy peanut butter kind of guy, right?
Now,
I'm a crunchy
Lisa, he's putting
kinda
peanut butter in
guy.
the mashed potatoes. He's like, you'd be okay. It's organic.
Hey,
What's up,
Redman
Redman?
50. Thank you for the super chat. This is for Brian. Do you have
What
another
up?
White Claw mango? What the heck's a White Claw mango?
Well, I
bought the
think our
Arc for the
last stream, I
bedroom.
drank like 9 of them, and then I went and did 5 hours after. So I think they're Redman, I'll put that to the next live stream. So you and I did what, 2 hours? Then I did 5 hours on my own. They love them.
I couldn't believe you did that.
I ain't afraid.
He
Thank you,
asked-
Redman.
So he's got the Arc. Should I get the Aero 300 with a Gen 3 sub or the Aero 100 with a mini sub? So almost, I would get the Gen 3 sub for output because it goes lower and you can't replace that. But I think the Aero 100s for surround is all you need. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You get the surround, but you don't need that extra SPL with the 300 because they're just surrounds, right? There's not that much going on there. And the sub makes up the difference because with the sub, you cut the Aero 100s off at 120 hertz. That allows the Aero 100 to actually go even louder, right? What limits speakers is the lower they can go, the lower the overall output is. But if you cut the speakers off at a higher frequency, like 120 hertz, which you can, then the Aero 100s could go a bit louder, giving you that surround feel. And then the Gen 3 sub will give you all the sub under 120. And so, yes, go for the Gen 3 sub with the Aero 100s. So
I concur.
Yeah,
That's
it's a bedroom.
very good. Awesome. Redman,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
What's up, Craig? Blake Holmes just subscribed to us. What's up,
Oh,
Blake?
Getty
Very
Getty
cool.
G, man, watching football
Yeah,
after.
Blake, thank
Oh
you,
wait,
Blake.
so the story of Getty G, man, he's one of the few that got a 100-inch Hisense. I have to tell you guys, he bought it at $5,000, and then dropped to 4,000, then
He's like Charlie Sheen
3,500.
in Wall Street. He's like, I'm gonna send it back. I'm gonna.
So over the last 3 weeks, he saved $2,000, and so he's watching his 100-inch Hisense over Thanksgiving, watching football after having a great meal. And he had a meal in his 100-inch Hisense TV with my family. Quite a treat. Can you imagine your family walking in? Oh, Getty, check this out. Loving it, by the way. Bought it on impulse. Okay, so that's a FOMO thing, right, Brian? You buy it on impulse. You're watching our stream. Oh, 100
He
inch.
didn't. First of all, he didn't buy it on impulse. Getty G Man was in the chat for how many live streams, and he was like, he had the mouse ready to click. It was in the bin, ready to
No,
rock.
wait. No, this is the impulse. He was ready to click on the A80L. Right, he went from an OLED. That's the impulse. So he's been shopping. He's been
Oh,
spending
yeah.
weeks of research, and he was between like the S90C, right? And the next thing you know, 100-inch Hisense. The
Like,
brand
what?
wasn't even on the.
Well, so we said this. Phone One, I've said this. I know we're gonna do a video on it, but I did the X90L at 98 inches. Where the mini LEDs will survive and thrive is in the land of the giants. OLEDs are not going to go there. There are two OLEDs that are massive, the 88-inch Z2 and the 97-inch G2. Each are 25,000.
Yes.
OLEDs are not going to go there. They're just not going to. So
Ooh,
mini LEDs are going to be amazing.
I have news about that. We've been hammering
Or they
LG
are going to go there.
Display. Well, we've been hammering LG Display on increasing their sizes to compete with Mini LED, right? Because this is where the Chinese are going. Hisense and TCL, they're not going to go OLED, right? It's just not worth the trouble, not worth the money. They're just going to get bigger and bigger. And so LG Display is being forced to focus manufacturing and increasing yields on the larger 83-inch and 97-inch. So we'll see how low they can go, but finally, that's going to be great. And of course, Getty wants to say, or did he buy an impulse, the 65-inch A75L for the bedroom, and he gave away his U8H to his cousin. So he went from the U8H to the 100-inch Hisense and the 65-inch A75L, Getty. So,
Now,
wow.
now, FOMO, let me do a prediction. I got a prediction for Getty. So when we're going to be at CES, FOMO and I are going to be all business there. We're going to be doing videos at night, and we're going to be with Hisense and TCL and all these guys. But Getty G, man, keep that same energy, baby. When we start filming those 100-inch UXs, I'm just saying, I want to see you not white knuckle it, my friend, because they're going to really be special next year. I'm glad you got yours, but keep in mind that the price you paid for yours. So that fear of missing, I mean, you got it for free.
Well, Brian, don't forget this. Back in the heyday, you paid almost 10 grand for your Samsung.
Oh, forget that. I paid $4 grand for a Vizio, and that was supposed to be a bargain in 2016. 12 grand for a freaking Samsung.
Here's a great question. Charlie, does the A95L have Dolby Vision problems? I saw videos about it. You mean like 3 of my videos about it?
Yeah.
So yes, it requires a firmware update. Now maybe they've had it since I last did the review, but the Dolby Vision is a little bit lifted on the A95L. So I'd recommend people watch the internal app of Netflix that has Dolby Vision. It feels a little bit more accurate, but in both, everything's a bit lifted. It's not as dark as it should be, but it's not a big deal. It's not as off as on, let's say, on the Hisense. The Dolby Vision was broken about a year or two ago.
Yeah.
This is not broken per se. It's just a bit brighter than it should be. So it's got problems.
And I would say, Charlie, and anybody watching, do not base your purchase on that, because I have the A80L, I have the A80J. Dolby Vision, while it may not be as accurate, it's still fine. I watch it on. So even though we're pointing it out, and my boy FOMO's done videos on it, it's not something we have to cover it for you. It has to be brought to your attention, and it will be fixed probably, but it's not something I would base your purchase on.
Oh no, I mean, because the image quality,
it's fantastic.
Let's say once they fix Dolby Vision, it's going to look almost exactly like HDR10. We're like, wait.
And they will. Will. And I want you guys to know that whatever you tell us does go back to Sony. I do have, we do have a line to that. So let us, I've already sent messages about the scratch screens on the A95L. I'm waiting for an answer. So we do have some, direct contact with them. Let us know. We'll get
Well,
Dolby
not only
Vision.
that, they're probably watching this stream right now. I think
I mean,
last I was
Pablo
doing this
wanted
stream,
FOMO's numbered. I know
they
a
were
guy.
taking notes, right?
Yeah, he's like, I know a guy. That's the
So
good thing about it.
Calvin, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate the response. Is there any value in the 83-inch G3 over the 83-inch A80L? The wall-mounted sleek look of the G3 looks killer. And
About
so
it.
this is where we're at. The G3, this is where it's a gallery series. You're paying for the
Yeah.
gallery. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is no image quality value, though. If you're looking at image quality, get the C3. But if you're looking at a look, yeah, you're paying for the look. And it looks good, but you're paying for the look. But that's it.
So
Brian, what are your thoughts?
I want to speak on this only because I love LG and I love their gaming. I'm even their gaming being a bit of a step back this year, perhaps doesn't even really bother me. But I will say you're paying for the design. G series at 83 have had challenges with their power supply since the G2, and that happened some with the G3. Some uniformity problems with their WGRGB OLEDs. My ADL is clean, but I will say you're going to take a step back in audio quite a bit. So the G3 sleek, make sure you have a soundbar with it, and you'll be fine. But you are taking a step back in that regard. And it's hard for me to justify the 83-inch G3 when I know there's MLA in the 77. And I've compared them, and it's substantial. So if you've never had an OLED before and you want that design and you want a G3, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll be very happy. But even the Z series, I wouldn't buy now, knowing it doesn't have MLA, or the M series, because I know there may be an MLA around the corner, FOMO, where there might not be a QD OLED. There may be an 83-inch MLA next year. That might be easier for them to implement. It's just hard to spend that knowing the 77 inch is superior.
Yes. But again, that sleek look, how important is it to you? It's like that One Connect box. How important is having that One Connect box to you, right? And so I'm never going to tell you not to get a TV because you like the look, because I do the same thing. But if you're just focused on image quality, the G3 83-inch, well, okay, and 5 years. So you get a 5-year panel warranty. And that also might be important to you as well. So I would also accept that as a reason. The 83-inch A80L only has a 1-year manufacturer warranty. The 83-inch G3 has the 5-year panel replacement warranty, that if anything happens to the panel, they'll replace it. So that's also goes into the value. And that's the value, is the look and the 5-year panel replacement.
And if they had MLA, the 83-inch G3 would be far and away the best 83.
Oh, you would have bought it.
It wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah, I think you would have got it for gaming.
They really painted themselves into a corner with that, because even the Z series, as I mentioned, I would not want to buy that TV simply because it doesn't have MLA. MLA is the difference.
Yep, it is. And I predict that they will spread it to the C series as well as add it to the 83-inch, and they have to. I mean, you can't.
And then delineate the B series and say, hey, the B series has got the same processor but doesn't have MLA, and that'll be a great way to sort it out.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of the B series, the 77-inch B3 is like $1,800, I think. That's actually a good price. Now, that's the only LG OLED I'm recommending because for the price, right? The G3 MLA is a good TV, but for the price, $1,799 for the LG B3 is actually pretty good.
And the S90C really upset the apple cart this year. I mean, they really, because the C series is last year, we always say this, at the end of the year, the C2 was our most recommended TV.
Yes.
For value and performance. That S90 just slid in there, and it's just so hard to recommend anything else at that price point. I mean, it's and what's funny, FOMO in Best Buy, I talked to you off camera in my video. It's amazing how Samsung has set up their pad. The QD OLEDs are now featured.
I saw that.
Yeah, so they actually moved out the 900C in their QLED area. That's where the S95 is. And now the S90C is right up front. The S95C is above the 90. I mean, they have really, that's going to be the shift, but it's just, they had 3 or 4 of them. I mean, really, really, really amazing that how they're pushing that. But they pivot pretty quickly, Samsung.
I love this question from Gambit 90 because it is exactly what happened to me. Well, not
Don't get
exactly.
him an AK 900 TS.
Replacing 48-inch Samsung for parents. I love buying parents TV. This is going to be a fun one. The budget's $1,300. So that's a healthy budget. You love your
That's a
parents.
great question.
Should I get a 65-inch X90L Costco, the Samsung QN85C 1170 first responder discount, or the 55-inch A75L? So I'm going to tell you this right
Really
now.
good question.
Get the largest TV you can. In this case, the 65-inch X90L Costco, because 5-year warranty. And okay, so let's talk about the parents. This is the audience, right? Bigger. They're going to notice the size before anything else, right? And so that size is like, wow. So of this list, the 65-inch was the largest size. And it's a Costco purchase. So the second thing is it's got to turn on. The minute your TV stops turning on, you'll be the first person they call. With a Costco 5-year warranty,
You'll be the
you know
first.
what?
Hey, Gambit. What are
it
you
goes
doing?
back to Costco, right?
Yeah.
So with people unlike us, right? We're enthusiasts, right? And I'm assuming your parents are like my parents. They just want to watch TV. Leave them alone, right? Remote's easy to use, whatever. And so that, to me, says it all. Now, unless you can get the Samsung QN85C at
That's what he's looking at.
65 inches at
what he's-
Costco,
That's what he's looking at, though.
yeah, but he has to go to the first responder discount at Samsung.
I
That's
see.
why.
You're saying
Yeah.
okay. Now, question
So
Fomo, for you. What do you think about the people that are a little bit older? They almost prefer Tizen, which is confusing to me. Have you
My
found
parents
that?
love Tizen. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, you and because you and I are double clicking and triple clicking to get to an HDMI. They're like, play.
So this is how Tizen works. There is no HDMI. It just shows you the content.
Yeah,
In the
it's all paneled
background,
up.
right? In the background, they do all of that. Like this is
Yeah.
connected. Like my parents have, I think there's like a Cox cable box connected to the back, but on Tizen it doesn't say HDMI 1. It just shows CNN, but that CNN is going through the Cox cable. So as far as my parents are concerned, they don't want to look for which HDMI. They don't know what HDMI is. They just want to click. Oh, I want to watch CNN now. So
So
everything is
Fomo's parents are
content.
very into audio, by the way.
What?
Just
Oh,
tell
and
the
that's-
story. Just tell the story quick for everybody in the audience. Just you can
Yeah,
do
for
it
those
fast.
that missed it, I just want to tell the story. So my parents had a Crystal TV, Samsung. They love the Tizen, so I have to replace it with a Tizen, right? I want them to learn a whole new UI paradigm. So I had the Samsung QN 900B, right? The 8K TV from last year. And I was done with reviewing it, and it was pretty good. It's super bright. And I figured, you know what? Their TV just broke, the Crystal series. They would love this flagship. This is the most expensive 65-inch you can get from
No,
Samsung.
tell it the right way. It's
8K.
bezel-less. It is
Bezel-less.
silver.
It's got the one connect
bezel-less.
box,
It's
right?
thin. It's the highest end Samsung last year.
What was that? $4,000
8K.
at the time, whatever, 8K, right? So I'm like, I'm pulling out their TV, and my parents like, what are you doing? I'm replacing your TV. I have this really amazing TV, right? You know, it's 8K. I'm going all these features. My parents like, okay, whatever. So I put it in there, and then I leave it. And then my mom calls me. There's something wrong with the volume. I'm like, what's wrong with the volume? Can't get loud enough. Because with the Crystal TV at 60%, like we can hear everything.
Imagine.
I'm at 80%. I can barely hear anything. What's wrong with your TV? I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like a flagship. We don't know. It feels cheap. And then she's all like, and I noticed that you peeled and threw away the little eco
and that yellow
sticker,
energy
the
thing.
yellow energy sticker.
Yeah,
He
that's
goes,
awesome.
are you trying to hide from us that this is an inefficient TV? I'm like,
Yeah,
what
the
do you
electric
mean?
bill's going up.
Right. He was like, it says here that the electric bill on this TV is going to cost us like, $90 a year. Well, I looked it up online. This is the highest one they have at Best Buy. What the hell?
He's like, Mom, I got the one connect box. It's
And then she
HDMI
goes- He
2.1.
goes, you must put this on eco mode. I'm like,
Oh my
why? She's like, because we're not going to pay this bill, right? I'm like,
I gotta
okay,
pay your
fine.
electric bill. It was
So I go
amazing.
back, right? I turn the volume up to max. I put it on dialogue, and it's on eco mode now. And she's all like, and you gotta activate the blue light thing. We don't want to go blind. So I activate all of the ambient, blue light, eco, and by the
So
time I'm
you turn
done,
on everything that we shut off.
right, by the time I go,
Okay.
this looks just like a Crystal TV now. She's all like, Yes. Why did you get us a cheaper TV?
Ambient light
He
sensor.
goes, and then she goes, how much money are you saving by buying us this TV? I'm like, this is our flagship TV. She's all like, and you got robbed?
And they stole from you.
And they scammed you on a
Oh, man.
TV with bad audio. It's just too bright.
So
It
what he's
wastes
saying,
energy.
Gambit, is that here he is. He drops it off. He plugs it in, and then his phone is ringing off the hook on why he. So you're going to be the first line of defense when something goes wrong.
And so after that, I'm like, you know what? No good deed goes unpunished. And so every time I visit, I see the TV, and I'm like, I so want to put it on like filmmaker mode or something.
You're like,
I know.
"Please, put it on
It's in
Vivid.
eco mode.
Call it a day.
Put on Vivid.
Give him some sunglasses like
So this is why I say,
Oppenheimer.
Gambit, I feel for you, my friend. Learn from
Give
my
him a Vizio.
mistakes. They want to
Man.
hear, right? And this is the problem with
Ugh.
One Connect Box TVs. The audio just sucks, frankly.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. Hey, Red Man. Oh my gosh, he wants
Damn,
to
bro.
share. He had fried mashed potatoes. So here I am trying to go healthy, mixing with cauliflower. He's deep frying his mashed potatoes.
Crumple up some curly fries, put them on top. Little hash brown. Those actually sound good.
Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. You're killing it. Was it at least olive oil you fried it in? Thank you for the advice. Was going to get the Q990C. I know
vegetable
people
oil,
losing connectivity to 3 years. I'd rather pay more for Sonos because it just works. Yeah. And that's another thing that goes.
Yeah, you're buying into
for
the
sure.
ecosystem at that point.
Yeah, and now Sonos has its own issues, right? I think they had issues with passing through Atmos or DTS or whatever it is. No soundbar is perfect. Get the one that works for you. And if all you care for is I don't want it to lose connectivity, boom, you're done. Because I know its connection to the Era and the subwoofer, the wireless thing, solid. I mean, it is probably the best wireless system out there, but it's also premium, and those are things that's not really taken into account. So yeah, enjoy it, man.
Uh-huh.
Enjoy it for sure.
Real quick, we have some creators in the chat. We got Plasma TV for Gaming. What's up, my friend?
Oh yeah, some
And,
shout outs.
We also got our Easy HT Tech. Our boy from M Wave is in the house too. Saying hello to all you guys. Thanks for jumping in on Black Friday.
Yes,
We love
thank
saying
you,
hello to
thank
other
you.
creators. You see those guys in the chat, follow them back, subscribe to their channels. Thanks for jumping in, fellas. And obviously, Class C doesn't need any introduction if he's still here. He is
Yeah.
still here.
Hey,
How was your
people will
Thanksgiving, Cecil?
know. Let me predict that he had turkey.
And Caleb jumped out of here. He's like, I'm out. Jump on. Love Caleb.
And everyone's shopping, right? They're waiting in line at Macy's, getting those UGG boots for all their
my
friends
God.
and family.
Grab that toaster for 50 cents.
No.
Grab that
I don't
blow
wanna
up pool.
Short circuit my house. Any
Grab that
toaster
above
that's
ground
50
pool
cent,
on the
no
way out
bueno.
for $1.
Hey Tom, thank you for the super chat. You have an LG 65-inch B6P. Was that like one of the original OLEDs? Dark room, 10-foot distance. All right. Watch sports, streaming, movies. Okay, 10 feet, dark room, sports, streaming, movies. No gaming, so got it. 77-inch C3 is $1,800 with the LG discount. S90C AAA price. You know where I'm going. 85-inch X90L, so budget's $2,200. You got to go with the S90C AAA price. Now you're 10 feet away though, so you got the 85-inch X90L. So here we go again. $2,200. Brian,
Definitely doing.
he's coming from an LG 65 B6P. Is that an OLED B6P?
That isn't. That's an OLED. That's like one.
What
of
is
the
that?
first.
If it's okay,
do you have burning on that, my friend? That's an old one.
If the B6P is an LCD TV, get the Sony X90L 85-inch because you're getting better. If the 65 B6P is an OLED, you're going to notice the difference right away in a dark room. Go with the S90C AAA pricing. So,
well, Tom,
that's
also,
where we're at.
Tom, what's your seating distance? Because with Kimberly, we jumped to the QM8 from 65 because her seating.
He's at 10 feet. He's at 10 feet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's why I went with the 85-inch X90L. Again, if the 65 B6P is an LCD, then you'll love the 85-inch X90L.
I
by
think
the way,
so.
you'll
Yeah.
love it.
Most
If
definitely.
it's an OLED, you'll notice all the flaws. But wait, why does it look so washed out?
Yep.
So let us know, man. But 2,200 is a good budget. We have some options for sure. And Getty, he's telling you, Brian, no FOMO here, man. I'm not gonna white knuckle it. No way.
Getty. I've been in this game a long time, my friend. I'm gonna see when him and I are at CES and we're live streaming. I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna look for you. Trust me. I'm gonna see it. Nothing but love, baby.
Hey, Ryan and Zach. All right, we got a twofer. Thank you for that super chat. I'm debating between whether to get the 75-inch Hisense U8K or the 75-inch U7K. Is the U8K worth the extra $400, or will I not be missing out much? Also, the best 75-inch OLED under $1,300. Lot to unpack here. So the U7K, the U8K. The U8K will have deeper blacks. It's visible to me. Contrast is better. It feels to me that the U8K for HDR impact, it is a step above. Now, what are you watching though? It is worth the extra $400 if you're watching Blu-ray discs, right? You're streaming high quality content, Apple TV, you buy the movies in HDR, you want to watch it. Yes, but if you're doing YouTube, you're watching mostly news, old TV shows, or even current TV shows, Peacock, whatever, and you're not HDR, whatever, Netflix, you have whatever bit rate issues, the 75-inch U7K is fine, actually.
Yeah.
The U8K, because you have black bars, and normally the black bars are in those high quality movies you want to watch, that's when it comes to play. It's a bit deeper on the U8K. The blacks are a little bit better, but I think the U7K actually is a very good TV, especially if you're coming from an older LCD TV.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the best 75-inch OLED under $1,300. Well, I'll look that up, Brian. What are your thoughts? Because I know you have both.
So for me, they're very, very close. I like the U7K a lot. I do like the U8K better. Typically, when I recommend the U7K over the U8K is only if you're going, say, 75 versus 65. At the same size, as long as you have a few extra difference in price, I will always go with the flagship in this regard. The U7K, as good as it is, spend the extra money, get the U8K if they're the same size. If it's the 75-inch U7K versus the 65-inch U8K, then I say go there. Because price-wise, they do match up in that regard. I would go with the U8K every time, as a matter of fact. I do have them both. I still have them both. And you'll see the U8K go against the A80L next week, and the X90L will be rematching it. But I like the U7K a lot. But I think the U8K is just a superior TV, and that local dimming for mini LEDs really is what they do best. And if you can get those black bars looking, and guys, keep in mind, it's also Dolby Vision, and it's your streaming, it's your HDR impact. That little bit is worth the money, in my opinion.
Yep.
And a different build quality. They are different. They're differently built. They have a different profile. They don't look exactly the same.
And which leads to the second half of this question. 75-inch, best OLED under $1,300. My friend, can't get that low. Right now, the best OLED you're going to get at the cheapest price is $1,799.
Vizio, baby, get that Vizio.
For the if only they had a 77-inch. The $1,799 LG B3. Now, if your budget's $1,300, you're still at $1,439 with the S90C. So speaking of the S90C, I want to hit this question real quick because a lot of you are asking, how do I get these deals that FOMO is showing, right? So let me pull this up.
Get your car towed.
How do we get the S90C for $1,999?
AAA, baby, get your car towed.
AAA. So let me walk you through this one more time, my friend.
I'm going to use the restroom while you walk me through this. Right back.
Who is this? Wait.
Oh, all right, I'm out of here.
Caleb, what's up, man? How long have you been waiting for? I just realized I noticed you. Wait, how long has he been waiting for?
Too long, FOMO. Too long. Brian, get your butt back in that seat.
Hey, Caleb, are you okay? We don't know what your personal TV situation is, but are you shopping Black Friday? What are you buying this Black Friday?
I'm not going to buy anything because I've got so many TVs coming through right now that it just doesn't make any sense to make a purchase right now. Because I'm constantly swapping out TVs, you know what I mean?
Right.
But man, there are some great deals to be had right now. And I don't know why, but it just kind of feels like a more exciting than usual Black Friday. Anyway, I'm just here for moral support. I just wanted to come through and say hi.
Hey, Dennis, what's up, brother?
What's up?
You know, we're here to give you moral support, man.
Dude, Caleb has the best hair in the business. Why are you covering your hair right now?
I know you're not.
Because it was necessary. I mean, I'm scrambling this morning. I had a few things to write up really quick, and caught that you guys were doing the live stream. By the way, man, I had to go hunting for the link to this stream because I'm not doing X, Twitter, whatever. But I found it eventually, and here I am.
We are happy to have you.
Okay. I didn't know you were not doing the Twitter thing because I shared it with you guys on Twitter. Like, oh, well, you know what? You came just in time for me to show people how to get the best deal on a Samsung TV. Because they're asking me, how did you get this $19.99 deal, right? So
Can we just pause real
it's
quick? Real quick, pause.
yes.
Can we just give Caleb the love as being like the first person to do TV video reviews? Let's just give him the love.
That is
in the chat.
true.
I'm
That
trying to
is
get
true.
Caleb on and give him. He doesn't like to give himself the love, but we've all watched Caleb. That $12,000 KS 9800 that I bought was watching Caleb's video. So I want to give love to Caleb and the respect for being the very first of us. Without Caleb, we wouldn't be doing what we do. So I know he
that
doesn't
is
like
true.
that, but it's true.
Thank
Much
you.
love to
I
Caleb.
appreciate that. I'm not sure that I was the first, though. I think
All right.
Katzmeyer might have had me beat.
Well, he didn't know he was doing it.
But
he didn't realize it.
right. But thanks all the same. I appreciate the sentiment, Brian. That's very kind of you.
It's true. I make you take the bow, but appreciate you coming on.
Yes, thank you, Caleb. Yeah. And we're going to see him at CES. We're going to have fun. We're going to bump into each other. I'm going to love it. All right. So how do we get the best deals on Samsung products? So it's not just TVs, it's everything, right? And I'll walk you guys through it right now. First, if you guys are already a member, you guys know, if you go to shop, offer programs. These are the offer programs or the programs that if you are a member of one of these programs, education for teachers and educators, I think some parents qualify, I don't know, PTA members, something like that, first responders, military, government workers, employees of certain companies that have this relationship with Samsung, and Galaxy Campus Store. I think those are students. So any of these individuals, if you are once verified and you're in the membership, they offer you amazing deals, right? So I'm going to show you what educators get because apparently I'm in the educator link now. And so you see the price. Oh, $22.49, right? So at Best Buy, it's currently $2,500. But look at the 83-inch, like $27.99. You're not going to get it.
If you pay for your masters, you might as well get a discount.
So the secret, so this is the part where everyone misses. To get this to $19.99, you got to go here, chat about Black Friday deals, because this is already a deal, but you click on this, then you wait in line, and then you talk to them and say, hey, can I get this for $19.99? I mean, you literally ask them that. My friend got it for $19.99, and I'm a member. I have all these Samsung devices, right? You wear your Samsung shirt. Now, Caleb, you'll love this story. One of our viewers went on chat and he got scammed. The chatter's like, look, you don't want to buy here. And started, give me your phone number. Let me send you special links. And texted him links to some.
And then he turned into go to Walmart and get a gift card and
global marketplace, nothing to do with Samsung. He's like, did this guy try to just scam me? I'm like, oh my God. So beware of that possibility. You're chatting with a real person, obviously not a bot, right? So this real person is trying to get him to click on a link through his cell phone. He's like, wait a minute, I showed him my cell phone. What the heck? So buyer beware. This is the first I heard of it, but most of our viewers who do this, you have to be patient, number one. Number two, there is apparently a limit on how many of these deals they offer on any given day or week. So just keep on trying. If they say, oh, I'm sorry, it's not available, try it again tomorrow. Don't just take no for an answer that day. And it may depend on the chat representative, right? You might get one that has some available to offer. You might get a scam artist, get out of there quick. Or you might get one that used it all up because you guys called so much, and that's how you get these additional prices. So I suspect at the 55-inch, you might even be able to get that for under $1,999, right? And yeah, I mean, look, if you look at their sound bars, oh my gosh, the Q990C flagship sound bar is like $900. So something to keep in mind, my friends. Hopefully, that was helpful.
Caleb, how was
Yeah.
Tokyo, my friend? You were down there with Sony. How was that? I love the video.
Wait, I think he signed a non-disclosure. We're not even
Oh, yeah,
supposed
don't
to
tell
know.
me what you saw, but how was your trip? How was your flight? I mean, that was pretty awesome that you were there.
Yeah, what can you share?
I mean, the trip was it was awesome. You know, it was my first time in Japan. I got a chance to go to South Korea a few years ago. That was also really exciting. But Japan was just kind of next level. Really interesting culture, some great food. But yeah, we got a nice mix of, like, we had one sort of fun day. You know, so we arrived and, you know, jet lag was definitely a real thing. So, you know, we took kind of a day to kind of adjust as best we could. And then we had kind of a fun day. And then after that, it was a lot of meetings with Sony, saw a lot of cool stuff. And you know, some of the things that we learned there will, you know, be coming out slowly throughout 2024. But yeah, it was absolutely worth going. And you know, I think one of the best things about it was it gave a whole suite of executives and decision makers at Sony an opportunity to hear from the press, and, you know, specifically some TV reviewers, about, you know, things that they could potentially do better or do differently, and also to be recognized for what they're doing really well. And you know, I'll say this: we learned a lot. I've noticed over the past, definitely over the past year, maybe over the past 2 years, that in the absence of information, people will make up a lot of stories. They'll guess at the why Sony is doing this. Why is the TV coming out now as opposed to earlier? Why did they not replace this model? Why did they reintroduce this other model with a different model number? Why don't they talk about certain specs on their TV? You know, things of that nature. And I learned a lot about that stuff. Which, yeah, I mean, I'm under an NDA, so there's a lot that I can't talk about. And when I can talk about it, you know, it's kind of predetermined by dates and stuff like that. But
You're hanging out with Big Rob, who must have been like Godzilla out there.
yeah, man.
Because me, him, and Mara were texting, and I'm like, dude, be careful, don't step on anybody out there. He's like 6'7".
He's Rob's just a force. But yeah, you know, Rob was out there. Rob Brennan, been, you know, he's made appearances on both of your channels.
Yep.
And that guy is just, not only is he a wealth of information, but he's just a really great dude.
He's awesome.
And he does a great job of cutting through the BS. You know what I mean? Everybody in Rob's position across various different TV manufacturers, you know, has to tread a really difficult line between, you know, public relations and information dissemination. You know, to a certain degree, you know, they're a little bit restricted. I think Rob does a better job than most at kind of treading that line. So having him there as an advocate, having him there as a you know, in some cases to kind of translate some things, it was fantastic. But yeah, I'll just say this: the Sony buildings that we visited, the behind the scenes looks that we got, were just really super valuable. And also, you know, I have a long history with Sony products in general. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we got a chance to check out their product museum that went back to the, yeah, I mean, the first ever little tiny Trinitron color TV. You know, through the Walkman. You know, I had a Walkman that you could actually record audio on as a kid. The Sony boom boxes, Sony Discman. I had to do mini disc for a while because, well, first of all, I thought mini disc players were cool, but then later I needed it for my cruise ship days. like it was really cool just to see kind of the lineage of Sony's products and where they were before and where they're at now, and it was great. Anyway, that was probably a longer question or longer answer
Dude.
than you anticipated.
If you're gonna be sitting here with us, I'd much rather have you talking about what you experienced than how you chose.
Well, yeah, but you guys are here to let people know about the the deals that they can get right now, and
We're
the best
very
TVs
dynamic
to
on the
buy.
fly.
So
We're unscripted here. We're dynamic, my friend.
And speaking of deals, Freddie, thank you for the super chat. He is shopping for a friend, like all of us on Black Friday. A friend is looking for their first big TV, looking for a 65-inch budget TV, mainly for streaming, sports, light gaming. They are not video files. I lean towards the Hisense U7, but the TCL Q7 was better in the Starfield test. So I prefer the Q7 for gaming and just overall because the Q7 held its image quality a little bit better. Contrast is better. It just feels like if you include gaming, TCL Q7 and QM8 is a bit better than the Hisense this year with their gaming bar. I like their game bar a little bit better as well, but they're very close. So, but mainly streaming sports, light gaming, I think the Q7 will knock it out of the ballpark for you in terms of those two use cases. And as far as Starfield tests, it is such a specific pattern that a TV could do well in a Starfield test and not look good with real content. So I no longer personally use a Starfield test other than to demonstrate, oh, look, it does so well in the Starfield test. But then you can see movies and images where there is a Starfield where, what? It didn't do so well, but it looks so good in this movie. What happens? So I don't know. I mean, Caleb, I know you do the Starfield test as well. What are your thoughts on Starfield test? I just don't see it reflecting much in real TV performance, and people are still caught up in the Starfield test.
Oh, the Starfield test.
That's our fault, by the way.
So first of all, just so that everybody understands, I am definitely, I need to, how do I put this? So, I work for Digital Trends, and I'm not going to sit here and say Digital Trends owns my whole butt. But this is a family-friendly show, right? We'll keep the colorful metaphors down to a minimum.
Let loose, baby.
It's a Hallmark production, right?
That's what I thought. So there's only so much that I'm comfortable, saying outside of my particular publication in terms of sharing and stuff like that. Although I do try to help people as much as I can in emails and DMs and things like that. I mean, I'll say this: I think that test patterns are a great way to add some objectivity to the analysis of a TV. They can help reveal when a TV has severe limitations. They can also hint at when a TV is capable of doing something particularly well. But then, as you've already suggested, it's really important to take a look at real content. We do know that some TVs are engineered specifically to do well with certain test patterns. In fact, they'll sense those test patterns coming and change their behavior a little bit. But the picture processing and the AI algorithms that are built into the picture processing and whatnot, they're not designed to recognize test patterns and do things with them. They're designed to go, oh, crap, you're watching Star Wars right now, and we've got a gigantic Death Star that's bright as all get out over here, and then otherwise kind of black with some stars coming in, and what do we want to do with this? And that is really the true test of the TV, I think, is to feed it some real content and see how it does with it. If I saw a Starfield test where those stars didn't come in until like 3 or 4 seconds later than they should have, I'm concerned, right? So what that's going to tell me is, hey, let's go check out some content where there's actual stars and see how it does with that. And then you go and take a look at that content and find out, is it doing it well or is it doing it poorly? And then also having a reference display that does really, really well. Like, we can't all be Vincent and have a BVM at home, right? It's a $30,000 to $40,000 investment. But having a reference display that tells you, no, this is excellent, really helps us kind of determine with some gives us a firm conclusion on how a TV is doing. So that again, I am just here with the long, exasperating answers, and I'm sorry about that. But
Don't be sorry. It's what we want you for.
I
But, you
think
know-
I think the Starfield test, like a bunch of other tests, is valuable, and we should be looking at that. But that's just the beginning of a whole analysis that you want to do on a TV.
So,
And,
Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes
so
sense.
what I love about the Starfield test, Caleb had mentioned too, was obviously we used to check it for blooming at times to see how badly it bloomed. Then crushing out the Starfield. What I loved about seeing the Starfield was kind of proving that the specular highlights of OLEDs sparkle with the Starfield, and on even the best LEDs like a Z9K, they're dull. Or windows in Spears and Munsell sparkle with OLEDs. So I think it showed people too that even in movies you would see a sparkle with a star versus a flat, bright image. So they do have their place, and as you're mentioning, Caleb. There's something that we use, but I would not base my purchase off of one. Even with some uniformity slides, people will base their purchase on that. And I don't know if your
Mhm.
parents are watching a lot of Star Wars, but I wouldn't base it off the Starfield alone.
I'll add this. I love that that tools have been democratized, and so there are lots of people who can get access to these tools. But how you use the tool is really, really important.
Absolutely.
And a tool in the hands of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing can be, well, let's not use the word dangerous, because let's be honest, nobody's life is at stake here. You know what I mean? It's not like, you can, it's like if you make a defib kit available to the masses, and then you got people out there going, just electrocuting people because they think it's fun. That's dangerous.
Little bit.
We're not talking about something like that here. But yeah, knowing how to use the tool is just as important, or maybe more so, than having the tool itself.
Absolutely.
And it takes time, and education to know how to use that tool. And that's where I'm at with almost any test pattern. It's a launch pad for further discovery. And it does, like you said, Brian, sometimes it can reveal things and make us go, we'll get curious. Let's dig into that a little deeper. And then that helps us focus our efforts in the right places, right?
Yeah.
I think it's actually, in its way, it's kind of a time saver, because we'll discover something that needs digging into deeper, and then we can kind of, we can really dig in and expose what's actually going on. But again, I think it's really important to use real content, and know the source and the limitation of your content. In addition to that, to kind of see what a TV does in real life versus what it does with a test pattern. Super important.
And yeah, speaking of real life, I wanted to give this balance to my response. So, although I recommended the Q7 based on my
That's why I like
preference
them.
for contrast, right? And HDR impact and blooming control and deeper blacks, Classy wants to say that TCL is like past Samsung. No regard for accuracy, over brightened, clipped highlights, etc. Hisense is closer to Sony in preserving detail and having better colors. I don't recommend TCL over Hisense. And so that's also the last layer, which is, what is your preference? My preference is like what TCL is like Samsung Pass. I think that if you're coming from an older TV, I think the TCL Q7 offers that impact that I prefer for my HDR. However, it is rougher in terms of motion, and it does have the motion settings that I like, but I can tolerate a little bit of soap opera. Hisense, you can tune that a bit better. And Hisense out of the box, even out of the box plus its settings, there's always some skin tone, color warmth you could adjust it to in between, whereas TCL, it's either too cool or too warm. And so you can never have it perfect, regardless of the TV. You have to choose your preference. So you can either start with the Q7 or start with the U7K. But if you feel like, you know what, I want to try this. This gives me better this or that. You could always swap. That's the wonderful thing about buying today's modern retailer. Best Buy doesn't care. Okay, you don't like it? Here. try the Q7, try the U7K. So you definitely have to know what you prefer. So if you guys listen to me, it's often deep blacks, perfect blooming control on LCD TVs, contrast, because I think those things are really appealing because I
Yeah.
assume you're not going to get it calibrated. However, others, no matter what, they will get a Sony because they need that skin tone out of the box. They're willing to give up a bit of that contrast, a bit of the blooming control, and they're okay with that. So you have to know, what are you okay with and what are you unwilling to accept? And we know classy, accuracy. Hey, Caleb,
Teacher,
what you got?
teacher. I'm such a dork. How do you guys
I
put up
love
with
it.
me? You know what the most valuable thing about what Classy just said is? TCL is going to pay attention, and they are going to make changes. You know, I think the one thing that a lot of people aren't aware of, and why would you think about this, you know, unless you're in the biz like we are, is, you know, TCL has to decide where to put its resources. It has to decide how much to care. And it also has to decide how it's going to weigh what a small sliver of enthusiasts think versus a massive audience
I cannot wait to jump off what you're saying.
that's traipsing through Costco, right? And so by the numbers, TCL has a lot of financial motivation to produce something that it knows is going to make a huge number of people happy, even though it's not right, it's not accurate, it and you know, even subjectively, I think people, given the option, might prefer something that's a little bit more accurate, right?
Yeah.
They may not know why, but like you keep bringing up skin tones, FOMO. That's something that's really easy for people to pick up on, right? You know, when the skin tones are off, when everybody you're looking at looks sunburnt, that's not a good experience for anyone, right?
Yep.
And so, you know, hopefully any manufacturer is doing something to get to a certain baseline. But when the conversation among the enthusiasts and the people who have influence over other folks' buying decisions, I think we're all the folks that our friends and family call when they need a new TV, right? You know, TCL knows that, and I think they have a vested interest in appeasing the influencers and the enthusiasts with what they want to see. And so the most thing, again, I think the most valuable thing about what Classy said there is that I think TCL is going to perk up and they're going to go, you know what, maybe it's worth spending a little extra money or a little extra time dialing in the out-of-box settings and the out-of-box experience and getting it, or at least presenting one picture mode that gets us there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still have the other picture modes that over brighten things or, you know, clip out for the sake of that immediate punch, you know, that starts out looking awesome and eventually gets fatiguing for me. But offer one picture mode that definitely does it. You know, this sounds a lot like what Samsung did after we railed on them for over brightening everything for overshooting the EOTF. Eventually they're like, okay, we'll give you this one mode where it tracks EOTF correctly. And the rest of the modes, we're going to do what we want. I think that's a great compromise, right? You know, these are business people. They're there to make money. They're there to play a numbers game. They're going to want to make the most amount of people happy with the least amount of cost. And, you know, yeah.
And this is where I hope they don't do that, because I don't think Samsung, whether it was accurate or not, TCL at M-Wave, we had the QM8 was favored over the G3, the A95K, the G2, the QN90. Enthusiasts were walking in, were picking the QM8. And what I mean by that is Samsung listening to us or going more accurate. And Classy's comments fantastic if you're in one specific camp. The Q7 or the QM8 being a successor to Samsung, kind of following that punchy, whether it's accurate or not, as you mentioned, bringing people that aren't enthusiasts in. I rather see them give you, like you said, one preset, but then stay with that bright, aggressive algorithm for their local dimming, keeping blooming to a minimum, staying vibrant, staying vivid is a great signature for them. And that's why I like how they're all different. I like that they're so different. I don't want them all to look like Sony. Love Sony. I like to see them pave their own way. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about what TCL is doing. They're kind of brash with that. Taking because Samsung kind of stopped being Samsung for a while. They just recently started going back to that. But their TVs got a little less bright. Their blooming started flattening out, being more gray. And that's why I haven't chosen them for that reason. They became less Samsung than they used to be. That's just me.
And that takes us to this question about Samsung. EJG, thank you for the super chat, asks, is the Samsung
The tongue
S90C that
twister.
much of an upgrade from the C1? I have the 77-inch C1, which Class C, who's here, calibrated along with this 77G2. I'm tempted to get the 77 S90C right now. So I say, since you have a 77-inch C1, yes, the S90C is brighter and all those things, right? But if you're enjoying the C1, like there's no complaints about it, keep it until it breaks. Unless you have an itch, you have 1800, 1900, 2000 burning in your pocket, whatever. I have a hard time telling people to upgrade when they're happy with their TV, right? So hold on to it until it breaks and then get it later. Or even next year, the S90C will probably drop even further. But then the S90D, maybe slightly better, longevity. There's so many reasons to wait. But yeah, hold on. And then come on, Classy's touched it. So you have a collector's edition TV. There's no doubt
Unless
about
you're
it.
going up in size, it's very hard to recommend. It's still a very
Yeah,
moderate
unless you're
TV.
going to the 83-inch. So
You're going up
that's a
then.
great point right
Yeah,
there.
but
Yes,
from
yes.
going from same size to same size from one year to the next, we very rarely recommend that.
Yeah. Robert, I see your super chat.
Just send
missed
them,
your
send them money, huh?
question. So I
Nice.
just sending me money, right? But yeah, ask your question. I'll try to look for that. And hey, Red Band, thank you for the super chat. Should I have buyer's remorse getting my A95K over the L? This is totally you, Brian. I'm in Canada. Originally bought the 55-inch Q90C. Saw the A95K drop by $1,500. So gave the Q90C to my mom. Moms and their Samsungs. I
They're
love
getting
it.
all the good
So
high-end TVs.
I'll tell you why you shouldn't have buyer's remorse. Lisa here has the A95K.
A95K is
Still
excellent.
loves it, right? Every year you'll have a better TV. So unless you live a life of buyer's remorse, the A95K is such a good TV. Like I still have it.
Yeah.
It's in my room, bed. I think it's in my bedroom now. I keep on moving it around. I love it. I have no complaints. Next to other TVs, I'm gonna go, oh, A95L is a bit brighter here and there. But when I'm watching with that TV only, I walk in there, I'm like, this TV looks really good. I'm so happy I have it. So do not have buyer's remorse.
Yeah. And it's all about when
Yeah, I'm sure you
bought
guys
the
get this all the
A95K.
time, right?
But I mean, I think for a lot of people, they buy it all depends, Redmond, when you bought it. If you bought it at launch, you're going to pay a premium for it. But a lot of people have buyer's remorse after buying flagship TVs at half the price. So if you bought it later in the year and it dropped again, then I feel bad for you. But the A95K is one of the best TVs ever made. It's a Master Series, excellent TV. And we really do, we love the little differences, but it's hard to have buyer's remorse over, A95K is awesome.
And
I
I
have
wanted
to
to share
agree
this.
for what it's
Go ahead.
worth. Like I have the G3, A95L, S95C, and the A95K all set up together right now. And I've been spending a fair amount of time, even if I'm writing something, right, they're on in the background, and I'm looking up at them, and I'm just like, this is so fun. This is so awesome. I mean, some of the best TVs all stacked up next to each other. Like for guys like us, that's just or gals.
This is what we do.
That's just like nirvana, right? But at the end of the day, I go and I look at a C1, and am I sitting there thinking, oh man, I just wish I had one of those other TVs that I was watching right now? No, I don't.
Nope.
The C1 looks awesome. And Brian, I think you nailed it. Like it is, it's our job to get excited or poo-poo.
Little things.
Little things, little incremental improvements that we see year over year. because we want to see what kind of progress is being made and whatnot. But when you put it into perspective, those incremental improvements, it's really hard to justify a 500 to 700 or even more dollar delta or in cost by those incremental improvements. And so, I mean, the C1 at this point is 2 generations back. It's about to be 3 generations back, and it's still looking awesome. You know what I mean?
have one.
It's an OLED, for crying out loud. It is by its very nature, it is awesome.
Now, Caleb, when you're looking up at those, I mean, just because we have you here, what jumps out at you in the big differences when you're glancing more than being critical? Do you notice a huge difference yourself when you're just writing and you look up and you see those combined? Is there one that you do kind of look at and say, "Oh, this one's really catching my eye," or are you kind of enjoying them all at the same time?
Brian,
or am I getting an inside track on a new video? Is that what's happening?
Brian,
Spoiler alert!
Am I gonna get a text? Oh man!
Why don't I just do my video now on your?
All right, I was gonna say. That's awesome.
No, you know what? That's a fair question, and I mean that's exactly what I'm trying to answer.
I mean, you get millions of views; they're gonna watch it anyway.
No, that's not true.
No,
I mean that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm going to address in that video that's coming up. And apologies, I'm not here to promote my own channel or whatever.
Yeah, you should be. That's why we're all together.
But yeah, I am saving that information for the video because that's really at the heart of it.
Well, I think you saying what you said about the C1, for instance. I have a C1, and I still love it. It's in a dark room, but I think them hearing what you're saying does speak a lot because a lot of that fear of missing out makes people buy. Like again, going from a C1 at 77 to another TV at 77, I think people will regret that every time. Simply because one's an OLED and the other's an OLED. So unless that size is part of it, I think it's good to hear someone like you say that because some of us will chase MLA or we'll chase a quantum dot OLED. But for most people, they'll be very happy to still watch you as a fan or as somebody that follows you. But hearing you say that, they're also more comfortable waiting around for a year and then buying something maybe larger. So getting that from you is important.
Even if no matter what Stop the FOMO says, you are still going to have FOMO. Of
course, that's part of the fun. It's part of the fun.
If you really want to have the latest and the greatest, and that's a point of pride and excitement and enjoyment in and of itself for you, I pass no judgments on that. And if you've got the money to support that habit, go for it. It's not like you're, just don't end up in a ditch by the side of the road, because you're, you assed out. Don't do that.
Well, that's why FOMO, not just him, but the whole saying, FOMO and the fear of missing out and buyer's remorse should be in tandem. You should think of them both. If you're cutting edge, you're cutting edge, you're paying a premium. You have to have that confidence and know why you're buying it. You're buying it for Dolby Vision. You're buying it for a couple more zones. You're buying it for brighter. But if you're in that uneasy place, that's why we recommend last year's TVs. That's why we say be thoughtful of your finances. But if you're cutting edge, baby, you're going to pay white knuckle it all the way down.
Yeah, just manage your own expectations. Don't expect to be blown away by the difference.
I mean, my C1, I did not replace. I have the opportunity to replace them every year. I can do that. There's a reason why it's still down there. There's no reason to replace it. I mean, it's great for what it does. I'll put it this frankly, even the trouble of moving 183 out and replacing it with another is not worth me going to a C2 or C3. And I love both TVs. There's just not enough of a difference for me to even be worth the trouble. So that speaks it right there. I mean, the C1 is good enough. For me to replace it's actually a waste of the C1.
Yeah, I keep thinking about, I helped a friend recently, buy a TV. He wanted to spend less than $1,000. He was waffling between a 55 and a 65. And, I was encouraging him to go ahead and go with the 65, even though they sit fairly close. Anyway, I said, look, let's take a look at the U8K. Let's look at the QM8 and let's look at the X90L. Even though the X90L is a little bit pricier for, what he's using it for, I thought that might be more suitable for the long term. And keep in mind, though, I mean, this person was upgrading from a I swear to God, it was like a 14, maybe 13-year-old TV, little thing, little 42-inch with massive bezels. I was like, first of all, you can buy a 55-inch TV and it's not going to take up much more space than what that thing's already taking.
That's a video in itself right there. I've done
Yeah.
that video, but you
man,
doing that video would be interesting.
They are thrilled right now. It is such a massive upgrade for them. You know,
we'll never feel that experience, by the way, with the work.
Yeah, no, we're beyond that. But and I am blessed to you know, be able to check out the latest and greatest and all that other stuff. But if you're upgrading from I say if you're upgrading from a 6 or 7 year old TV, most of the 6 or 7 year old TVs, even ones that were way high tier back then, you're going to be really impressed with the difference that you see from even a mid-tier TV today, I think. I don't know.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of deals, I just wanted to remind everyone that is trying to get the Samsung deals through the member program, which they may be, and they're not getting it. And Mel is the perfect example. He's responding to one of our viewers who couldn't get the deal, right? So the first rep that Mel spoke to said, nope, promo is over. Sorry. So too bad, so sad. But the second rep sure could help you. And in 2 minutes, Mel got his deal. And so this is what I'm telling you guys is don't take no for an answer. Not with that specific person, right? Say, okay, thanks, leave, come back. Find another rep.
Speak to your supervisor, please.
The deal. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me talk to your supervisor. Dude, FOMO, you're actually giving like advice on how to get past another consultant.
Yeah. What can you do, right? I mean,
way too much trouble. Hey, Frank, I need another guy over here.
People are just they give up too easily, right? You know, it's okay. Try again. Don't take no for an answer. It's all good. And we got a bunch of super chats that we're to get through. But yes, thank you for that, Mel. Because I know people that have lost hope in getting this great deal. And no, you're good. You're good.
Hey guys, I think that I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of super chats to get through. I definitely want you to get through them. I should take off. I just wanted to say thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it. It was fun stopping through.
Caleb, when is that video expected, my friend? Or is that something that's going to be soon?
Well, it hasn't been recorded yet, and then you know, there's usually like a week's turnaround for editing and all that other stuff.
Zeke filming it. Zeke, right?
Either Zeke or Chris. Chris joined us a little over 6 months ago, and hopefully you guys will have an opportunity to meet him at CES.
Yeah, cool. Zeke was great. Awesome.
But yeah, you know, I really want to get to it. This time of year, there's a lot of best ofs and a lot of buying advice and stuff that we want to do because I think that's what's really valuable for folks. But look, man, I can only have 4 TVs set up at once in the studio for so long before you know, I need to move on. So we'll get to it very soon. Cool. And I can't wait to do it. It's going to be super fun. I will just one parting thought for everybody watching. You know, I think all 3 of us are going to be at CES, right? Along with some others. And while CES is itself an industry event, the general public is not allowed, although there are ways to find your way in if you're clever. You know, I'd like to toss out the idea of like a meetup or something like that. You know, maybe, you know, I know that a lot of your viewers are actually industry people, you know, so they might be at CES already, or maybe they don't live too far from Vegas or whatever. So just tossing that kernel of an idea out there. Maybe we can make it happen. And if we don't make it happen for CES, I think it would be fun to do another time. Just wanted to throw that out there and let people weigh in on whether they'd be into that. You know, it should be fun to meet in person some of the folks that we chat with all the time. So
great idea.
Just throwing that idea out there. I can't wait to see you guys there. You know, we're not that far away.
I know.
Definitely.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. What, 5 weeks? Something like that? It's
6
weeks, I think. About 6 weeks. Yeah, it's coming up. So
right after the holidays. Awesome. Right, thank you so much for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a great Black Friday. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys out there soon.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah,
talk later, buddy. Bye-bye.
Awesome for Caleb to come on.
Oh, I know.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. He's the man. So hope you guys enjoyed having Caleb on.
All right, we jump here. Okay, Jerry, thank you for that super chat, my friend. And 1 second. Coming from a 65-inch LG B9, distance 8 to 9 feet. I want a bigger OLED. Considering a 77-inch A95L or 83-inch A80L. Upgrade to the 83-inch now or next upgrade.
Great
I
question.
want a bigger OLED. Go with the 83-inch. It's going to be a while before you see a QD OLED 83-inch size, and it will be very expensive once it comes out there. I think the 83-inch now with A80L, if you're streaming, so I'm assuming you're streaming, that's going to be a great TV. It is $4,500. So if you wait, it's for it to get less expensive. Now, if you don't need that Sony A80L XR Clear, you just want an OLED. Then you always get the S90C 83-inch, which is under 3,000. But I'd say get the A80L. Enjoy it now. Like, what is it you always say, Brian? Enjoy the TV that you'll have,
Yeah.
rather
See,
than wait, and you never get the TV.
See, Jerry, for 8 to 9 feet, I would go with the A95L. I think the 77-inch is big enough for that seating distance. And I do think the A95L is considerably better than the A80L, though I love the A80L. I would
Oh,
actually,
look at
I,
you.
I
You
would
went
actually,
smaller.
I would actually go
Okay.
because his seating distance is right on that cusp of
hmm
being where 8 to 9 feet, another foot, 2 feet, you have to go 80. 8 to 9 feet, I think 77 is big enough. And I think the QD OLED, it's just that technology to me is a step up. If you can get the QD OLED in tandem with XR Clear, it will beat the A80L. So that just, mine. So we actually didn't help you at all.
Well, and because I'm thinking Jerry's going from a 65-inch B9. So we know
Yeah.
the B9 is slightly dimmer. Going to
Oh,
the 83 A80L, he will still get
yeah.
that brightness punch.
Yep.
I mean, not huge, but then that
Yeah.
size immersion. So that's where I
Yeah.
was coming from.
And I think the A95L, Jerry, this is the reason why I recommend it more than the A80L is you're coming from an LG to a Sony. It's just that the A95L has everything the 2024 TVs are gonna have. So it's as close to future proof as you can get as long as the 77-inch is large enough. If you don't think it's large enough, the 83-inch A80L is an easy choice. But if you measure out the 77 and it's large enough for you, then I would easily go with the better TV in this instance.
All right. Let us know what you do, Jerry, and which TV you got and whether you enjoy it. Hey, Calvin, thank you for the super chat. What are you guys' thoughts on the Shield Pro and their AI enhanced AI upscaling compared to native
Oh,
or
great
Apple
question.
TV 4K? So Apple TV 4K, I don't know if it does any upscaling at all. That remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But Apple TV provides the best high bitrate content, meaning their
Yes.
movies are the highest bitrate out there, even including their apps and so forth. Now, as far as upscaling, so the Sony is right now the poster child for the best TV upscaling, and that would be with the XR Clear, A80L, A95L, X90L, X95L. And whether the Shield is better than that, I don't know. I mean, you need to have a head-to-head, but I do know the Shield Pro is better than the Hisense and the TCL for that sort of stuff, right? So
If
it
you
really
like that.
depends.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is, I mean, what content you upscaling, right? If it's rough 720p content,
Columbo.
low bitrate 720p, right? Or YouTube TV. I mean, there's only so much upscaling can do to help. I mean, at some point, it's not going to help with motion stutter issues where it's just a bad source. And I'm using YouTube TV as my bad source example. So what I would say, Calvin, is whatever TV you have right now, and let's say you don't like the upscaling, rather than buy a new TV, get the Shield Pro and see if it helps, right? You save a bit of money. Now, if you are shopping for a TV, don't buy a TV with the Shield Pro thinking I'm going to package it and get this. Get the TV on its own for whatever reason. Oh, I'm getting the Sony because it has amazing upscaling. Then you always have the Shield Pro for whatever you want to do. But if you get the TV as a match with the Shield Pro, I think you're conflating two different
It's a good point.
solutions, right? That may or may not address what you want.
May not help each other.
So, yeah, I mean, they might not do anything. And so try to buy the TV based on what you need. And then the Shield Pro could be the extra layer after you chose the best TV you can. And, let us see what TVs you're considering.
And what's great with that FOMO, and so Calvin, I'll have to ask this, Calvin. XR Clear, for instance, is an AI learning. The NVIDIA might disable it. So we have to find out if XR thinks that there's other processing going on,
Right,
they might
right,
conflict
right.
with each other. So
It may neutralize it.
it may
Oh,
be
it
like
looks great. I'm
well,
gonna do nothing.
because Rob had said that if you try to trick XR Clear, for instance, like for me running it through a splitter and
Right.
pausing it, as soon as I pause it, XR Clear is like, okay, we're done. There's nothing.
Oh,
playing.
wait. So I got the match. The X93L plus the Shield
With
Pro.
boom, there you go. You're done.
But then with the money that you're paying for the Shield, maybe you should have gotten the one with XR Clear.
Coulda got the
So you're kind of
4090.
back to work.
I mean, it may actually disadvantage it. Retro Spectro is a great name, and that's a great profile picture, by the way, my friend.
I love it.
I gotta do a
It feels
profile pic like
dangerous.
that.
Well, you've been sending me all these profile pics I've been using, and I've yet to find
those
one
aren't
that looks
profile; those
as-
are for our thumbnails. But that, like, he's thoughtfully like, I gotta do that. Great picture, bro.
That's a true headshot that you would send to your agent, right? Hey,
I guess, you gotta
Retro.
get an agent first.
And he's referring to Caleb, right? He's the legend, right? We're just the newbies, right? We're the new kids on the block.
I think
Best
the
take
900E
advantage
is
of
the
it,
legend.
yes, for sure.
Talking about the 900.
I want to upgrade my TV in my bedroom from a 900 East. We're talking about the Sony, thinking of a 65-inch Hisense 8, UM8, Sony X90L, LG C3, or the Samsung S90C. 65-inch, I would still go with the S90C. It's a whole next-gen technology, right? We're talking QD OLED. It's going to be vibrant. It's going to take your Sony to the next level. I would say go with the S90C.
Yeah. I mean, in Retro Spectro, there is almost no times or instances where we recommend an LED of the same size over an OLED, especially a quantum dot OLED. So the 900E was very vibrant, had excellent local dimming, very good blacks, full array. It's just that an OLED versus a mini LED or an LED at the same size, there's no shot. So, and the S90C is better than the C3. So I would go S90C without hesitation.
Yeah, you'll be happy. Hey, Johnny5, thank you for the super chat. You've been here since the beginning. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing from people with passion, FOMO Tech Goat stream.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
Yeah, no, we
I'm
appreciate
assuming
you. I mean,
F means FOMO.
yeah, I mean, I want to just say thank you guys for being with us today. I mean, it's not
Yes,
just what's
thank
on
you.
sale, but us as a community and as friends, and having Caleb jump on is not just an industry guy. We're friends with him. You'll see us all together at CES with some other creators. We do appreciate you guys being on, and we appreciate you guys are passionate as well. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, you guys make the channel for sure. And thank you, Beauty and the Beast English Bulldogs. I love that name.
Another great
And
name.
even though the avatar, right, need help deciding between a 75-inch X90L, the Q7, the U7K, the U8K, or the QM8 or MQ8 TCL. I watch movies, streaming, PS, PlayStation, Air. So I guess over-the-air TV. 75-inch X90L. I hear streaming over-the-air TV and a PS5, and I know the U8K is pretty punchy. I know the QM8, but when I did my comparison with all three of them, I thought the X90L was so close that the XR Clear bridged the difference. So I would suggest, my suggestion in your list, Sony X90L, because of streaming it over the air. I'm coming from a 65-inch Samsung. Okay, so all three of these TVs will be a good upgrade to that as well, because they'll have better contrast. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Same exact point. I mean, I think FOMO, the X90L always gets kind of beat up because it releases very expensive. You know, this time of year, as it's more in line with the U7K, U8K, and even the QM8, now that it's the entry level to XR Clear, really gives it an advantage over the others. As you've mentioned with 4K HDR, maybe the other ones have an advantage in local dimming. But when it comes to what most of you are doing, streaming, Sony is just the #1 recommended this year, and the X90L is the entry to that.
Yeah, agreed. TV market became like Apple iPhone. And so he's talking about every year, just new features, trying to get people to buy stuff. I agree.
He's already justifying the white knuckle. You're already doing it, Getty G, man.
He's trying to convince his wife. We
He's
don't have a
already-
TV in the bathroom. We got
He's
two
like, oh,
bathrooms.
honey, we're all set. This 100-inch is the last TV I'm going to buy. Getty G Man's already preparing for it. Love it.
Yep.
Love
Suddenly 100-inch TV in the kitchen. Hey, Brad, Guitar Man, another regular. Thank you, my friend. Here, the S90C has motion issues watching movies and sports. Are corrections that can be set to improve motion, replacing my Sony 65-inch X900B to 77 suggestions. So, all right. S90C does not have motion issues per se. I think its motion is fine. You just have to have it on the right settings. The question is, what are you sensitive to? So here are the two types of people. Classy is very sensitive to soap opera. So there is no setting on the Samsung that will fix that for him. He needs to be on a Sony TV or maybe an LG, right? Because there is a setting there that eliminates soap opera but keeps stutter to a minimum. For me, I hate stutter. I'm willing to put up with a little bit of soap opera because it's not too noticeable to me.
Yeah.
So the Samsung has no motion issues to me because on a 3 or 4 setting, I don't notice the soap, but then stutter is gone. And I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
So if you are more like me, then the S90C has no issues. If you're not, you better get a Sony A95L or an A80L. But motion is so subjective that it's really hard to kind of relate to other things we can. Oh, it's not bright enough, or I don't like the
Yeah.
dimming, or whatever, right?
Well, Fomo,
But
don't forget
Brian,
the
what are your
third-
thoughts on motion? Because we don't talk about motion a lot when we
So
recommend TVs.
we don't, because I think, as what you just mentioned, it's very subjective. But then there's also that third camp that loves soap opera effect, and
Wh-
what they
which-
do is
AKA people under age 30 is what I've noticed.
so if you gas soap opera effect and you love that, if you see artifacting with soap opera effect enabled, then that's interpreted as bad motion, which I think is interesting, because since motion interpolation has been invited in I think 2006 or 7, it's always had some shimmer around the edges. If you really love soap opera effect, then you have to choose a brand that excels with that. But I wouldn't say a TV that struggles with soap opera effect, meaning it has artifacting, has poor motion.
Right.
So it really depends on what you want. There's 3 camps. There's no soap opera. There's in the middle what FOMO's saying, and then there's another group that loves that. If you love that, then that's a different conversation
And
altogether.
that brings another point. If you love soap opera, Sony is not very good at it. Actually,
Yes.
it adds more artifacts,
Which is why
So-
I think some will say that it has poor motion. I don't notice poor
Mhm.
motion on it at all.
Mm-mm.
But if you want to
Mhm.
jack up smoothness, and that's what you like, then you have to pick. Was it QM8 has that? Samsung is very good with that. As you mentioned, with stuttering or juddering with OLEDs over the years because of 24 FPS, a little bit of soap opera or a little bit of smoothing FOMO smooths that. I don't look at that as motion interpolation because it smooths it. But we got Mark is in the chat too. What's up, Mark? Our nuclear physicist.
I say, Brad, go ahead, get the S90C and put your setting on 3, and hopefully.
Call it
Now,
a day.
if motion is important to you, just get the Sony, because Sony, the new Sony, the A80L or the A95L, their motion should be great. Rocky, this is a question I've never heard before.
It's a good
Would I
question.
lose out on the X90L by not having HDR10 plus?
It's like,
No.
no,
You're
and I'll
Don't
take
worry
this
about
one.
that.
I'll take this one, Rocky. Have an HDR10 plus on Hisense FOMO, for instance. What I don't like about it, the same way I don't love Dolby Vision, is when I'm watching something on Amazon, right, FOMO, where there's a lot of HDR10 content plus, it disables the ability for me to change my my different settings. It kind of blanks them out the same way you do with Dolby Vision, and I find it a hindrance. Right, so dynamic tone mapping is something I can enable and disable and change. HDR10 Plus removes all of that. So to me, it's almost like a worse Dolby Vision in some ways, and I don't notice a big difference in its image quality. So I actually rather not have it at all.
Yeah. And Brian, I agree on this point as well. Is HDR10, the way the TVs are tone mapping it now, it's so good, whether it's LG, Samsung, or Sony. Dolby Vision HDR10 Plus adds so little, and they actually take away more if the TV cannot even get it right. So the A95L, king of TVs, it's struggling with getting Dolby Vision right. Like, wait, so what's the point, right? And like for me, if it wasn't calibrated, the G3 Dolby Vision is way too dark. And so I have to watch it in cinema home or brighten it up, but then that's not accurate out of the box. And so what's the point of Dolby Vision? Ultimately, HDR10 consistently, all the TV makers, they get it right out of the box. Done. Better than they would Dolby Vision more often than not. Hisense Dolby Vision broken last year, right? So that's something to think about. For many of you, oh, should I get Dolby HDR10 Plus? Every TV treats Dolby Vision differently. Whereas HDR10, it's not kind of predictable to me. So yeah, for those of you where this is a decision, it should be on near the bottom of your list as well in terms of, oh, should I have it because it has Dolby Vision or not?
Yeah. My word.
All right. And thank you, William Castillo. I currently have a 70-inch Samsung Q60. Don't you love that size, Brian? 70 inches. I've never
Yeah.
seen that. I love watching movies with the best quality. Should I upgrade to the S90C? Yes. Or laser projector. So two completely different things. Laser projector gets you 150 inches. That immersion, untouchable. S90C gets you amazing image quality on 77-inch, up to 77-inch, right? So, Brian, I mean, if you can fit 150 inches, I go with a laser projector, 150 inch, and try to get it calibrated.
Yeah.
You're not going to replace 150 inches. I mean, I saw Brandon's AWOL review, 150 inch. I mean, 150 inches. That is movie theater. That is just, I
Yeah.
would go laser projector all day long if you have a dark room, all those things, right? But if you're in a bright room, laser projector is not going to look great. I'd go with the S90C.
Yeah, on the laser projector, coming from the Q60, you won't notice much of the contrast ratio difference with a laser projector, so you'd be fine. But to your point, that anytime it's even mid bright in a room, you're going to lose that. So and
Yeah.
real quick, FOMO, can you touch on what Stacy Spears had said about the Dolby Vision codec on Blu-ray? Because we're having
Oh,
some
yeah.
talk. Because we're having some talk in the comments about how
So
Films at Home
the
and Movie Guy prefer Dolby Vision, but Dolby
Yeah,
Vision
yeah.
streaming is actually superior to 4K Blu-ray.
So it's the latest version, right? So to say superior, people will get up in arms. The Dolby Vision that's on the Blu-ray disc, it has been stuck in 2016. Whatever that version was back then,
Has
the
not
first
changed.
iteration, that's what it still is. All the latest features that Dolby Vision offers are all exclusive to streaming content, whatever it may be. I mean, it may or may not
Unfortunately.
improve, but if the creator's intent, we're talking the creators who's grading on the latest Dolby Vision using the latest features for their streaming content on Netflix, you're only going to get that via streaming TV
Yeah.
with that latest, which would be the LG. I think Sony maybe as well, right? But look at the Sony. Yeah, it has the latest Dolby Vision, but it didn't look great. And so people chasing Dolby Vision and its latest iterations, you forget it's a combination of three parties. The color grader needs to actually use Dolby Vision to its utmost, right? And then you have the TV itself that cares to decode Dolby Vision properly and have it calibrated in its chip firmware out of the box properly. If you don't want to get a calibrator to do it for you. And then lastly, you have the Dolby Vision version, whatever it is, whether it's streaming or Blu-ray, you're paying for this amazing TV that does all these things with Dolby Vision AI and IQ
Yeah.
and whatnot. But then your disc will do none of that because it's still doing basic Dolby Vision, which should be fine for most color graders anyway. But at the end of the day, speaking of Stacy Spears, when I asked him, so Stacy, what TV do you have with Dolby Vision? He's like, I don't do Dolby Vision. I use Mad VR.
Yeah.
HDR10. He's like,
30 grand.
Mad VR, HDR10, boom,
Oh,
better
that-
than
that-
any
yeah.
Dolby Vision, right? He's like,
I mean, it was
Dolby Vision.
and it was interesting because some of the comments talking about like Films at Home, which is a 4K Blu-ray reviewer, and I think another guy, Movies. They're both really good channels. My thing is, are they really taking the time to watch that film or circumventing Dolby Vision? They prefer Dolby Vision, but are they really watching HDR10 versions and Dolby Vision? It's kind of hard to circumvent it and shut it off. And what are they watching them on?
Exactly. Let's say they watch it on the Sony A95L. They get the best of the best. Oh, Dolby Vision is so different.
Exactly. That's
But
why
then
it's hard.
no one called them and said, by the way, it's wrong.
Yeah. So, I
Right?
mean, that's why when you're picking HDR over one over the other, it's kind of hard to know which one is better because you're like, are they really double checking? Are they circumventing it? Are they blocking it? Are they
Yeah.
using a device? It's really kind of
Did they
hard.
calibrate it now? And then once you calibrate it, all the TVs look so
Yeah,
similar, short of a
and do they
shootout,
and
right?
do they share their gear? A lot of the 4K Blu-ray guys don't share their gear. They're using a projector. So it's, I love
Well,
all those channels,
another
but
different experience, right?
another experience altogether. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, bro. Give me one
All
second.
right, go. Hey, Calvin, thank you for the super chat. Last chat for the day. I appreciate you being here, my friend. At what price is the 77-inch A95 better than the LG G3? It doesn't seem like it's $2,000 better. No. As a matter of fact, it's so close. And you've seen various shootouts and comparisons everywhere. Very close. We have to choose hand select content, assuming everything is calibrated, right? What you're buying on the A95L really is streaming, upscaling the XR Clear, and or the G3 for its gaming features that it uniquely has, right? 2000, no, but I would say $1,000 for me. I would pay close to 1,000 for the A95L. Two reasons: audio, way better. And I don't normally use a sound bar, by the way. If I get a TV, it's either part of the system where I have an audio system, or just use a TV audio. And the A95L audio, as it is pretty phenomenal. G3, not so much. So for $1,000, I'm getting a better audio where I don't have to waste time with sound bars, plugging in, compatibility, whatever. And most importantly, XR Clear. I watch a lot of sports, a lot of streaming. I'm sensitive to motion, so I love the motion settings on the XR Clear. It gets bright enough, and uniformity. The A95L consistently will have better uniformity than the G3 at a 77-inch size. You add all of that together, yeah, I'd pay $1,000 more. Two, now we're talking about how much are those things I pointed out worth to you. So $1,000 for better uniformity, better audio, brighter spectacular
A95L.
highlights, and XR Clear. Yeah, I think it's $1,000 better.
The A95L.
A95L versus G3. At what price point is
And
the
also
A95L
keep
better?
in mind, they would be at a similar price point if they released at the same time. You're actually
So
buying. You're
next
actually
year.
buying. You're actually buying a new TV where the G3 is now almost a year old. Not a year old, but you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's why you're really paying a price difference. I think the G3 was comparable in price when it released, wasn't it?
Yeah, they released a 4,500.
Same
Close to
price.
that. Yeah.
So that's the only reason
Yep.
why. So got to keep that in mind. You're buying a TV that just released a month and a half ago versus one that released the beginning of the year. So and the
Yep.
A95L we're fairly certain is going to carry over.
Yeah.
Please, what's up, my dear?
So, our favorite Sony fangirl. If XR Clear is AI based and learning, does that mean the picture improves with time? Thanks for an epic live stream. Warm love. Lots of love to you, Lisa.
Yep.
So, I have to say, AI is used so loosely. Everything is AI. Like suddenly my shoes are AI, right?
Yeah.
So, true AI requires lots of data. But it's training data, but who's doing the training? Human beings. I mean, ChatGPT, to me, that's like AI, deep learning. I mean, you see it grow. And then you have just anyone slapping on AI, oh, data, blah, blah, blah. And what Lisa brings up is correct. Does the picture improve with time? So there are two types of pictures. The one that you're watching, is it learning what you're watching? Or is it learning what Sony headquarters is feeding it and then updating the firmware to reflect the conclusions at Sony headquarters in terms of when we see this image, this is what AI will do. So for streaming upscaling AI, I think there's something they'll do at headquarters, right? They're going to look at all the artifacts. Okay, these artifacts is treated this way and so forth, right? So I can see them doing it at headquarters and then sending the firmware to you. Now, picture preference AI, meaning when you see a certain image, you consistently change things to a certain way. Does it match what you think? I don't think they're doing local AI where it's learning what you're watching. And mostly because processing power, there is no way. I could be wrong, but I doubt they have the resources to collect you as training data because they don't know what you like really. You might just leave it there, right? Now, they know what you're watching, but what you're watching and what needs to be fixed are two different things. So I don't think that the picture improves with time, not based on what you're watching per se, but based on what Sony headquarters is doing year to year. Like this year, it's better. XR Clear, way better than last year. But that's what their AI engineers or software engineers or imaging engineers are doing, because they're trying to enforce what they feel is a good picture based on the content. How do we make all this content look more like Sony science, Sony color science content? It's that conversion from all these different content to a consistent Sony look. They're learning all this different content, YouTube TV. How can we make it more like a Sony look, right? So over time, it will get better. Now, a lot of people think it's over time, their individual preferences somehow will match them. Probably not the case, but it's I don't know.
I know LG really tried to say that was the case with not just
the Personal Wizard.
Yeah, Personal Wizard, but I know that they had talked about the TV from not just the C1 and C2 had that, but did you lose yourself in your own stream, FOMO? I don't know where he went, but I know LG tried to do that and say that it was something that was learned. Lisa, from what I know, what Sony was feeding it, is it now my live stream? Feeding it the images over a year's time, thousands and thousands and thousands of images is what it was really all about in regards to AI processing, was something Sony did at home and then brings out to you. LG says it's AI learning. I just don't know how they can manage that. So I would think it's probably better by something they fed a million images.
I would love to talk to their AI team because I consider myself a huge fan of deep learning and AI development. That's what I normally did in my
Rob had said
in my real life.
It was really more about feeding it, a million images. That's how they trained it, and then they get it out to you. So I imagine that's what we're saying. What you said, FOMO, was kind of updated to you, that it's been, and that's why I said trying to trick it isn't something you should do, because you may trick it and it may disable it.
You may out trick yourself, right?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not doing this. I don't even know what this is.
I love talking AI. All right, Robert Westgate, thank you for the super chat. You're coming from a Samsung U and 65-inch f/8000 1080p 2013 model. Oh, thank you for that. You guys are learning. I love it. He's giving me the context I needed. I sit 11 feet away, play Xbox, computer connected to a media server, and sports. You sound like a very sophisticated man. Looking for a TV, 65-inch up to 77. Target 1300, sweet spot is 1000. So between 1000 and 1300. All right. I really want you to go to 77, but 1300 is a hard one. You're not going to get an OLED at 77, but 1300 65-inch S90C. You're getting that Samsung. You're used to Samsung processing, Tizen. I don't know if Tizen was back in 2013 though, but 65-inch 1300. So let me look at my 1300. Here we go. So you have A80L 1699 S90C. So if you are a program member, I still can't get it. You might be able to get it to 13 if you ask nicely in chat. We talked about that. But let's say you're not, and
Be friendly.
11 feet away. I mean, 70. How about a 75-inch $1,300 U8K? That's it. Because this is $1,500. His limit is $1,300. Was that?
UAK is how much at 75?
$1,300. Best Buy. So I would like to suggest the U8K at $1,300. QM8, it's currently $1,400. That's out of your budget. And U8K is highly recommended by many of us. So yeah, right there.
Yep,
Boom.
there you go.
There you go. But now, if you need to go to under 1,000, you'll have to go with the Q7 or the U7K 900. So these are your options, right? U7K or 1,300. Let me know which one you get, Robert.
I love that the prices are so now in line with each other. They definitely keep an eye on each other, don't they?
Oh.
The manufacturers. Tatito, what's up, my friend?
For a second, I thought it was a name of a tequila. Tatito, thank you,
Tatito's the man.
Thank you,
Tatito's
Tatito
great.
Rodriguez. Thank you guys for these streams. I really appreciate it. Hey,
He's been
we
watching us for a
appreciate
long
you.
time.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Thank you,
I love it.
Tatito. Appreciate it, my friend.
And Synchron Siturug says,
How do you even?
Oh, I love that picture of the kid. What a beautiful kid. Q700C versus Sonos Beam Gen 2 to pair with the S90C 77. I say, unless
Oh,
you have a Sonos ecosystem you're looking to build, get the Q700C. More bang for the buck, and you know it's going to work well with S90C. No questions
yeah,
asked. I am a fan of Sonos, but if you're not taking full
yeah.
advantage of all the Sonos stuff, you're just paying more for not getting it. Look, someone got a huge discount with AAA through Samsung. You're
Awesome,
welcome,
Neil.
Neil.
Yep.
Love it, love it. Keep
And
on
to that
trying
last
those who are missing it.
and to that last comment, FOMO, that Samsung and LG have really embraced the ecosystem of their own audio the same way Sony has. So, I mean,
Yes.
they don't just play nice with each other. There are benefits to them pairing with each other.
Hey, Mel, thank you for that reminder. 347 with only 155 likes. Hit that button, people. It helps
Yeah,
with the
jump in, guys. Say
algorithm.
hello.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, click like if you're enjoying this for sure. We'll be around for a little bit longer. I do have to go to the gym, though. I was telling Brian, I gotta
I already
run.
went.
I gotta
I
run
already
at
went.
least 60 minutes. I'm gonna do my zone 2 run, then hit the weights.
Well, we're getting in shape for CES. We're actually training for it.
Yep. Nunya, did you miss the beginning of the stream how I showed everyone how we get a 77-inch for $2,000? Well, for those that missed it, we can do it again real quick. And this is how you do it. Boom. So as you can see, it's $22.49, right? But I'm also a member. In this case, I'm a AAA member. But membership, what are you talking about? Go to shop. Members offer programs, right? All these different membership. If you're an educator, first responder, military, government employee, Galaxy Campus Store, you're a student. So you're one of these, right? I'm AAA, not specifically in there, but you click on one of these offer programs, you log in, then you'll get this first initial pricing. Well, it's pretty good, like 83-inch. What? $27.99? Not yet. You want $19.99 for the 77-inch 2K, right? 77-inch for $2,000. You got to go to the chat about Black Friday deals. You click on chat, you wait in line, and if they say no, you try again. You try again because different chat reps have different, I guess, approaches, and some of them are scam artists as well. And the scam artist who tries to send you to a different, if they ask for your phone number and try to send you outside,
if they try to DM
van,
you, be like, let's keep it here. Keep it here.
For a second, I just saw Chana, and then he disappeared. So I don't know what happened. Let me find Youth Man, not Youth Man. Let me find Techno Dad and tell him that I just missed him. But yeah, Brian, what do you think of this getting an extra deal in chat?
I mean, I wouldn't do it. That doesn't. I don't care enough to save a little bit of money. To me, it's not worth the effort of doing that. But it's up to you guys. I wouldn't bother with it. But
all right, you hear that? If you were Brian, don't need to spend the time.
I'm not chasing that. And Chris Kelly, don't worry about starting a war between 4K disc reviewers and TV reviewers. That's not something that we're interested in anyway. I like 4K Blu-ray reviewed, but you're not going to start a war even if you try, my friend. Is Techno Dad in the house? What's up, Dan? Dan has a question somewhere.
Hey, Dan. Yeah, we'll get you a question asked. Oh, here it is. I found it. Light controlled room. I think it's part of a question. Hey, Dad, give me your whole question. Let me figure out. Dan wants to ask, in a light controlled room, what's the best 65-inch TV to get? Let me see how close I am. I'll wait for the rest of your question. And this is actually a good one. Ongoing discussion about AI. Hey, FOMO, AI is not AI. AI processing is actually detecting the content and choosing an upscaling or sharpening method. See, when AI is not really AI, it really bothers me because now they're like loosely saying, so this is basically just an algorithm, right? A basic algorithm, a heuristic at best, right? So thank you, John, for clarifying that.
Well, John, it'll be interesting if the AI is like, hey, you got to go to bed, just the TV
No,
off.
Or the AI is sent to ChatGPT, then sent back out again.
You're too young to watch this content. Click. Too much gaming. Click. You're like, come on. Skynet.
Tony, thank you for your question, my friend, and the super chat. What do you recommend? 85-inch under $1,000, 90% streaming.
God, you're really
CU7000, LG I'm looking through all of this. CU 7000 done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Or
that's
any other ears at under 1,000. I think I've been making this recommendation for a bit now. At under 1,000, my only recommendation is the CU 7000 because there are
yeah,
so few TVs that cost so
yeah,
little, and
yeah.
at that price, you know, it's a great
I mean,
price.
at that size, you have to be super careful because they're just looking to turn on. I mean, this. I'm sorry, at that size, the Samsung. The reason why the CU 7000 is so. I mean, the
Yeah.
LG at that size, the light bleed is horrendous on those
Yeah, it's just
TVs, and
not
they
good.
they're not even bright. They're very dull. So I mean, the CU 7000 that's very popular for a reason. But I mean, that's a tough budget for that size.
Yep. Oh, and so Thomas messed up. Thomas, let me know when you ask the question, and I will look for the question. But yeah, Thomas, I think Thomas put a super chat, and he forgot to ask the question.
Must
And of
refund.
course, Dan, we're also looking for your question. Light controlled room. That's the beginning of the question. I'm hoping there's more to come after that.
He's an electrician.
Light controlled
Your
room.
best lighting would be kind of track lighting. It'd be great.
Hey, Fries, thank you for the super chat. Just purchased the Sony A95L, first OLED upgrade from 2017 QLED. All right. Paranoid about burn-in, considering retired, watch a lot. Okay, so you're considered retired, you watch a lot. Keep both or alternate. You're not going to be able to go back to the QLED after you watch the A95L. I don't know.
No.
Okay, so to avoid burn-in, I believe that QD OLED and the algorithms you're using to avoid burn-in are pretty healthy. If you're just, and it sounds like you watch different content, Fries, streaming, news,
What do you
whatever,
mean?
you're
What do you
okay.
mean?
I think, and you're not blasting it super bright, right? Just put it in professional mode. You should be okay. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on burn-in, Brian?
and what's funny, I'll tell you what I saw from the A80L FOMO was for a while there, I was shutting off the TV with the Apple remote. Just for just the Apple remote, and the TV did put up a message saying, "Please turn off the TV with the TV remote to avoid image retention." So, meaning we've always recommended turning the TV off with the actual remote from the TV. Turn it off, let it recycle. And more importantly, if you're watching, I'll give you an example, Fries. Let's say you're watching NFL Red Zone. That Red Zone logo stays on the entire time. So if you're watching 8 or 10 hours of football, all we recommend is switching the channel for a few minutes. That is all you need to vary your content. You don't need to,
Okay.
but that's all you really just vary your content, watch a few different things, you'll be fine. And shut it off
Yep.
with the actual TV remote. And it's burn-in still happens. And I tell you right now, anybody in the chat, if burn-in happens immediately, that's a defective panel. Send it back because it should never happen
Yes.
immediately.
Now that I'm caught up with most of my super chat, I think someone put in a super chat and I missed it. Was it Thomas? So Thomas, is there any chance getting my question answered? I messed up adding it to a $10 super chat.
He has the
I'll
question
choose
right underneath
after
it. He's got it.
Oh,
Looking to upgrade an LG B7 to an A80L, I believe. 206
206. I see it.
just now.
All right. Hey, thank you. Question. Right here. Looking to upgrade from a LG B7, that's an OLED, one of the early models that suffered from burn-in, to an A80L. Good choice. Or an
Or
A95L.
A95L. Yep.
How noticeable will the jump to the A80L be? Is there performance improvement, UI responsive launching apps with A95L? No. As far as UI responsiveness, it feels the same to me. The improvement between the A80L and the A95L is in the color luminance, HDR content, bright. The color on the A95L will continue to remain vibrant higher up the range, pushing it closer. If the accurate content demands color to be at a certain brightness, the A95L will hit that brightness faster, or not faster. It will hit that brightness closer to accurate. A80L cannot do it. It will dilute it. It'll look washed out if the content demands it. So a lot of people imply that all content will push brighter on the A95L. No, most content is graded under 1,000 nits. And in that case, it doesn't do anything. It actually looks very similar. And so what you get is the uniformity improvement on the A95L more than anything. But it really is the A95L, I think, for where you will notice it most is in sports, where it's brighter and holds onto that brightness longer. So in standard mode, the A95L will be brighter than the A80L. So those are the little things that you will notice. And before I go any further, let's add our friend, Shauna.
Techno Dad in the house. What up, player?
Yo, what's going on,
What's
everybody?
up, man? How are you?
How you doing, man?
You turn my big bottom on. There we go. Yeah.
Hey, he's
Turn
got
your
the-
big
got
bottom.
The
You have the
outside
deep voice.
showing.
You've got a big
Oh, yeah.
voice.
Oh
so
man,
good.
hold on.
Got the outside show. Oh, with pajamas on the bottom. Dad,
I love it.
what's up, Techno Dad?
What's up is I just woke up and I saw your post. I was editing a video till 9 in the morning and I slept
Oh my gosh.
from
You've
there.
been wait,
Oh, you
when
look
did,
good
did
though,
you
bro.
do it
You
all
look good
nighter,
though.
man? That's
I did
crazy,
it-
buddy.
yeah, because we did the Thanksgiving thing. And I didn't get home till midnight. And I was in the middle of like a giant video edit. And because Best Buy has some really good deals on Denon AVRs, not just for Black Friday, but if you are a member, a Best Buy member, you get an even bigger discount. Like sometimes even almost like $200 discount.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna check that right now as you guys are talking. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to so I was trying to get the video because instead of just making a Best Buy or like a Black Friday video, it's an actual
Right.
buyer's guide. So it'll tell you all the differences from the Denon X1800 all the way up to the A1H. And so
Nice.
so it's more
Nice.
so it'll live longer than a Black Friday video. So it's
Well, that's
and
great
it's-
because the AVRs aren't even in. They don't even really have them in person as much anymore. Like
Yeah,
those
I
back rooms. So that's great because they have the old AVRs in my Best Buy.
Yeah.
What's up, Techno Dad? Good to have you on, man. Good to see you.
good to see you too.
Been a while, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Are you
So
going to see? I forgot to ask. So, did you end up deciding to go to CES, or are you going to relax and enjoy your break?
it depends on how many sales we get today for our Black Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Oh, hey, do you have a website? I want to put it up for
Yeah,
everyone to see.
Yeah,
What's it called?
spatialcd.com. Spatialcd.com. Do you want me to put it in the private chat here?
Wait, let me see if I can get it. Spatialcd.com.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here it is. Let's share this. Okay, so I'm going to try to intro this real quick and see if I get it right. Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit. I have one, by the way. And this
I need to get
is
one. I'm going to buy one.
if you have a surround system or you have a sound bar with surround speakers and you want to test it and say, what does it really sound like? Am I hearing, is Atmos working above, below, or is the bouncy speakers off the ceiling actually bouncing? So this toolkit gives you the ability to designate how the sound goes, what's it supposed to sound like, and so forth. And then you can hear for yourself how effective surround is, because the whole point was that, Chana, you actually mixed this in a specific way so that the homeowner with the system can find out if certain speakers are working a certain way. Now, why did you do this? Because I love this toolkit. I've been waiting for this for you. I'm waiting for you to release this for years, and you did it.
Dude. So I invested in a Dolby Atmos mixing studio like 3 years ago now. And it was very expensive. I think I sold a bunch of stuff that I had laying around. I also put in a bunch of money. Yeah, I still had a whole bunch of DJ money too. So it cost me around like $20,000 to get all the pieces together. Yeah, I know. I know. And I just did it because
Buy that disc from my boy.
I wanted to try it. No, but this was like 2 years before we even thought about making the disc when I got this thing. So Joe, my colleague and cohort, Joe Intel, he and I made this disc, and basically he was doing remote calibrations, and he's like, "Hey man, can you? I'm running into a problem. REW is locked at 7 or at 8 channels, so that's 7.1. He's like, I can't get any peak noise to the height channels. Can you make these files so I can help?" And so I made him a bunch of files. He told me what to do, and he gave me the sound to make it. And he's like, "Hey man, this saved me like 2 to 3 hours. Can we and then after a little while of doing it, he's like, "Hey, if we package this up and gave people a whole bunch of stuff, then yeah, we could make something cool. So that's what it ended up happening. We in developing this disc, we made over 200 Dolby Atmos tracks, 160 of which actually made the disc. There's also a guide on how to like go through the disc with your home theater and your AVR to get everything dialed in. Everything from level matching to picking the best crossover point. You know, people always ask, what's the best crossover point? And people are like, oh, yeah, you go to your speaker manufacturer and you just pick whatever it says is the lowest, pick 10 hertz above that or whatever. You know, it's just completely arbitrary. But now you can actually sit down and like see and listen to where you stop hearing sound. And then you're like, oh, okay, so I gotta choose a crossover point in this area. And the best part is it's all about it has a visualizer, like a room visualizer, and it shows you where the sound is supposed to be. So you can kind of match it up. Hey, is that sound up here where it's supposed to be? Is it over here? Wait, the sound bar says it's a 916, but when I do the 916 call out on the disc, you know, middle height's kind of over by the front, like something's off, you know, like both Caleb Dennison and Elon Osborne used this disc when they were reviewing the Nakamichi Dragon to see if the sounds are coming at the right, you know, where happening, where they should be happening. And, you know, it's very handy. So a lot of people are loving it. A lot of people are loving it. So
Awesome,
we're excited
bro.
about it. Yeah.
Well, it's unique. There's nothing else out there like that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially with all of these, all of the tests that's on here. And what's even better, and what a lot of our customers have said, is that the Discord community, so we created a Discord community so all the users can help each other. That's where everybody's learning 100,000 times more about their home theater, because they can ask specific questions. And there's guys in there every day. I'm not in there every day because I got a bunch of stuff to do. But there's guys in there every day. Joe's in there. And they're going over some very technical issues that are coming up. And you know, it's great. Everybody's learning a whole lot, and you know, we're excited about it. So yeah, that's the thing. And there's a Black Friday sale, 15% off with the code NoFOMO15.
No 15 for me.
Yeah, no FOMO 15. No FOMO 15. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, use that if you guys want to.
Yeah, so go here to go to this website. Let me put in the link one more time. So what was it? It is
here. Let me make. Yeah. That was actually a coupon code for one of Joe's ads. So let me make a different coupon code. I'll just call it FOMO 15. I love being able to just do this right away because, like, I'm the man who do, you know, making it happen. But
I love it.
The shout out amount off order, discount code FOMO 15. Like
okay,
so I'm making this right now.
15.
Yeah,
discount code for,
and it's gonna end tonight at 11:59 p.m. Because it's Black Friday, right?
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Discount, it's there for all of your viewers. FOMO 15 to get 15% off our revolutionary product for Dolby Atmos calibration.
Nice.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So let's get to this real quick.
Yeah.
But thank you, Chana, for joining us. Josh Lee asked, why no Black Friday sales for Z9K? And it's because the Sony Z9K is a 2022 model.
Mm-hmm.
They're very deeply discounted for a Master Series Z9K, and they deeply discounted beginning Prime Day, and so it's been deeply discounted. I don't expect it to get any lower. Brian, do you know if the Z9K is going to get any lower anytime soon?
I mean, no, because it's actually considered a current TV as it's carried over. So
okay,
they're not going to drop
I
the
just want to hear FOMO say deeply discounted one more time.
Deeply
He's going to record it. He's recording it.
Deeply discounted.
Look into your eyes. Z9K is considered a current TV because they didn't bring the Z9L here, so they have no reason to drop it, and the inventory is very low, so they're never going to. And it's a Master Series. It was $10,000 at launch. I mean, they're not going to drop it much lower.
Yeah, makes sense.
Did you guys? I'm sure you guys. Of course, you guys saw the. I think the best deal is that 77-inch LG. What is it? The B3.
B3, $17.99. Yep.
$17.99. That's a great deal, man. I'm
Isn't
looking at
it?
I'm looking at my mom's 65-inch OLED here. I'm like, oh, we can go 77 for under $2,000. Like,
Good stuff.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Ridiculous. The
77
pricing is
inch.
out of control.
$17.99 right
But
there.
I definitely have to get Brandon to come on up here and install it, because she hired Geek Squad to install this TV here, and it's a garbage installation. Like
Oh,
they
no.
drywall. There's like holes in the back, like they missed. I'm like, really?
They're like, it's up there, right?
Stop
Okay.
playing.
Yeah, they hit the plug. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can get behind it now.
I think that what's worse is they sold her this Denon receiver that was also just so bad. It says Dolby Atmos on it, and then right next to it says 5.2. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make
Right.
sense at all.
With
So
the label on it.
yeah, the little sticker on there, and I looked at it, and I looked at what you could buy, and so it was like $379 or $369, and you could have gotten into that. It was the S series, one of the S ones, which I never touch. And she could have gotten the X1700 refurb for like $30 more off Amazon. I'm like, Mom, why didn't you talk to me? Why don't you talk to your boy? Right?
Yeah.
I was offended, actually, like a little bit. I'm like, you didn't ask me what TV to buy. This was last year though, but she did end up getting the A80 K, so that's pretty decent, you know.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
That's the one I was going to recommend to her anyway. But
You know, getting TVs for her parents is fraught with issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the only complaint is, why can't I hear anything?
yeah,
So
she
Drew had.
Like, it's too big.
Go ahead.
I was just going to jump into this question, but
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
do you guys say?
Oh, she actually the downstairs TV is this old ass Samsung. So she's like, what TV should I get for the downstairs? I'm like, oh, you want a 55-inch? I'm like, you can get a C3 OLED from LG, and she's like, which one is better color out of the box? I was like, I'll go with this
Oh,
one.
that's a great question, though. She's
It
asking
is,
the right
it
questions.
It is.
Knows her
So-
stuff.
Funny.
And I was just like,
Uh-oh,
well,
she's been watching YouTube.
Yeah, she's been watching you guys apparently.
She's probably, maybe she's here right now.
You see a super chat? Don't listen to my son.
I know he doesn't know anything. I came to you guys.
He's the audio guy.
All right.
Hey, Drew, thank you for waiting patiently. Hisense U8K 65-inch or 75-inch versus Sony X90L 65 or 75. Is there a quality difference in the panels? A rating says Hisense is using ADS at 75 inches, and he's using this as a PC monitor with 80% streaming. So I'll start with your 80% use case. The Sony X90L is going to be better thanks to XR Clear. So there is a quality difference, not so much with the panel. Don't focus as much on the panel as on the processor. In this case, the Sony XR Clear is going to clean up streaming better than the U8K. There's just no way the U8K is going to process it even close, right? So stick with the X90L 65 or 75 because of the XR Clear. Now, as far as ADS is concerned, I think it's a non-issue moving forward. I think ADS is fine. And if anything,
they
it may
keep
look
calling it
great.
IPS, and it's not accurate. I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's-
ADS is its own thing, right?
and
right. It's
and
similar
it's
to IPS.
but it's the best version of what they have, so it's not really
Yes.
a downgrade. I know it's been out there. Is that it's not
ADS,
Yeah.
ADS?
ADS.
not some sort of braking system for the car. No.
Well, so BOE calls it ADS. I know it's like it's a spectrum condition, and LG calls it IPS, but
Okay.
it's essentially very similar. Yeah. So, and I think that's all. Oh, and just so you guys know, we'll be ending this stream in about 15 minutes. I'll run to 11:30 or whatever. I gotta go work out before it closes, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
I cannot handle this.
Gotta get swole, dude. You no FOMO on your workout, bro. You gotta get.
I
that.
know. No,
Get
I can't
jacked
miss out on my
for CS.
workout.
I want to look as ripped as Brian up there.
Hey, Chana, Getty has a question for you. Does this work with an all-in-one soundbar like the MBAO?
As long as the so it's a Blu-ray disc, so you'll need a Blu-ray player, and then an AVR. If I don't know if the Ambio actually needs an AVR, but whatever signal you get into the soundbar, if the soundbar accepts Atmos, then yeah, you should be good to go.
And look, we already have a sale. Don't forget to use FOMO15 to get your 15%
Oh,
off.
Jake, thank you so much, man. I
Oh.
appreciate you, bro.
All good, man. That's great. And let me put it here. Here we go. Hey, Christian. I know he also hangs out with you guys. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I was set to buy a Marantz C50 for 1400K or 1,400, right? Unless he's somewhere I don't know about. 1400K sounds like a lot for the C50. But Anthem has the MRX 1140 4K refurb for 2,400. Is it worth the extra 1,000? I'm sure you get this a lot.
Ooh.
I will be running 5.1.4. Bid layer is Kali Audio. Oh, I love me some Kali Audio. I bought my son that exact model.
Really?
Also, Chana, should I upgrade to the speaker tongue? I don't even want to know.
Yeah, that's
The
an inside
speaker
AV
tongue-
thing.
The speaker tongue was hilarious. There was a few years ago, Joe and Tell and I we showed products at it's called The Show in Long Beach, The
Oh,
Entertainment,
right.
something like that. It was an
Home
audio
entertainment show or something
Yes,
like
a
that?
home entertainment show. So we were walking around, and this one Japanese dude was so proud. He has imagine a speaker, and outside of the speaker, there's this like part coming out of the like woofer. He's like, and he had the accent. He's like, I made a tongue. I made a speaker tongue. He's like, mimic the mouth, and it was like, so like the sound coming from the speaker has a tongue. And me and Joe were like trying not to laugh. And
Should have copywritten that. Put it, hashtag.
hashtag, I made a
That's
speaker
fine.
tongue. And we would not stop laughing about it. And they were like, it was
Oh
like
my gosh.
$10,000 a pair, like something outrageous. It just
tongue,
looked
the
so
tongue
weird.
is extra, baby.
So like this speaker, just imagine this speaker with a freaking something coming out of it, like a
Those are extra.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So you're not even paying attention to the audio at this point. You're just like staring at this tongue.
You like playing with it.
Like I can't
And
even
you
look
need
at
one.
it.
You need one for each speaker. So 11 of those. sticking
Yeah,
out. Tongues everywhere.
11 tongues, baby. I got an 11 tongue Atmos setup.
Atmos tongues above your head, over height, 403D.
Well, I love the creepy way he approached you. Hey, I got you a speaker
I
tongue.
made a speaker tongue. I
Just
was
for
like,
you.
what?
my friend.
Me and Joe are like, what is going on? What's he saying?
Why is he?
Use the hidden
Why is he
camera on that
approaching
one.
me?
How's it
Oh
going on?
god, it was so crazy, guys. So crazy. So
Yeah,
that's
a couple of guys bought discs for you.
Oh my
In the
gosh!
chat.
Thank you guys so much. Wait, I think I got it here. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here
You
it
got
is.
the speaker tongue?
Thank you to everybody.
Oh, nice, very cool.
I redid my soundboard, so if I start cursing,
Thank you.
Right? and then
Thank you.
if I'm talking smack, I gotta right, some shots fired, and then wait, what'd you say, Brian? What was that?
There you go.
And
Very
then
cool.
for when we do something lame on the podcast, right?
My favorite.
There you go.
Yeah. And then
Nice.
because I'm always cracking jokes in our live stream.
Okay. This
But,
is what happens when you have a real DJ.
Yeah,
He's got
he's
actual
like-
sound effects
he's like,
at his fingertips.
That's right. That's right.
DJ scratching the house.
That's right. And then I go on rants. So I'm like, all right, do you think Sony really cares about you? Come on, man, they don't care. Samsung doesn't give a shit either. So yeah. No, I'm excited. A lot of things changing in my life, as you can see. You guys know from my video, like I got a new background, which actually looks pretty hot, dude.
Yeah, I like
I
the
like
leaves
it.
in the back.
I
You
like
got the window showing. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like am I in a
Hey.
villa? It's in the south of
You look good, bro.
France. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you're like Brian. Brian's got the love nest back there that his wife is never
love
allowed to enter, right?
Oh, this is it. This is what you're talking. Look at this
Got
all
the
white
studio.
business. Yeah.
Like that. It's like an insane asylum. Everybody's convinced that I get kicked out of the house. I'm like,
This
no, I'm
is-
still at the house.
This is like
That's right.
the interior of a Lamborghini or something, man. You got purple on the outside, white on the inside, bro.
Hell
Look at
yeah,
what
kid,
this
it's all-
is, bro. I
All
love
good.
it.
I'm loving it. I'm
Almost in
loving
the
it.
dark. He's in the bat cave.
Oh man.
Almost lighting is on point. He just has darkness behind him. It's like the
Yeah.
Batman and the Joker. He's just sitting there chilling in darkness.
Well,
And
let's
So-
get into this question. I was set
Yes.
to buy a Marantz C50 for $1,400, but the so I had the I've had a Marantz that was before the C50. They just changed the front, the like casing. The Anthem, same thing. I had the 720, which was the earlier one. If you were, I wouldn't. That's a tough one. I think I might just go with the Marantz. I might go with the Cinema 50. If you want to
I would
pay
too.
the extra $1,000, get the Cinema 40. Right? Get the Marantz Cinema 40. What's the price on that guy? Oh, I wonder if Best Buy has a deal on it. Oh, it's 3,500. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's why. That's why. Or what you do is now the Anthem has more channels. So if you want more channels, then go with the Anthem. Anthem room correction is pretty awesome too. It has issues connecting though. You guys wouldn't believe this. I couldn't. You have to have both devices, your laptop and the AVR on the same Wi-Fi, and we're on the same Wi-Fi, but it just can't find it. I was on the phone with Anthem. Tech support, and they're like, I'm like, hey, it has an Ethernet port in the back. Can I just plug in my laptop Ethernet to the AVR Ethernet? And he's like, you can, but it won't work. We removed that functionality years ago. I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
Get rid of Wi-Fi.
I can't connect, bro. I can't connect to, like, what's happening? That would have made the easiest thing to do. So yeah, if you want Christian, if you want all the channels, the MRX 1140 I think does 15 channels or 13 channels. Those
Overkill, right?
Yeah, for if it is a 514, you could save the $1,000 and put it into something that will make it better, like our toolkit. That's only $100. Or get an external amplifier to power your front stage. That'll cost you like $500-$600, and you'll get a better experience that way because you're externally powering the most important speakers of your home theater. So you do that too. You've got some options, man. You got some options. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Techno Dad, for helping a poor man out. Drew has stopped the phone with Sony A80L 65-inch or X90L 75, coming from a Vizio. You got to go with the X90L 75.
Oh, look at his face.
You got to
with
go
the
big,
Vizio.
man.
Look at the face with the
I hear
Vizio.
Vizio and X90L. You will love the X90L. You will love the size, and then your next upgrade could be to a 77-inch QD OLED. So my instant response.
Yeah.
Well done.
And all right, gonna hit some of these. And Doris, mom, yes, Doris, Techno Dad is here. Lol, we hear the cracks with audio files like Techno Dad. I guess the tongue has been an ongoing meme with you guys, huh? Hey, Justin, thank you for that. Super chat, 100-inch TV or AWOL Vision 3500, or is it not a fair comparison? It's not a fair comparison, not because TV prices are dropping, but rather two different experiences, right? With the AWOL Vision 3500, you could even go larger than 100-inch. If you're keeping at 100-inch, though, I'd go with the TV because in a bright room, it's just going to be brighter. Now, some people complain off angle, the screen would be better. It maintains some of that, but the contrast on the TV is so much better than even on the AWOL that even off angle, it's a shift, but the contrast is still very good. And if you have any light in your room, the TV is going to look better. The contrast will just be better. And it's not a fair comparison because the AWOL, you can move it room to room, take it with you, very easy. And as Brian says, 100-inch TV, once it's on the wall, it's going to stay with the house. You're going to have a hard time moving it.
Can't give that to.
Yeah, you're not going to damage. Moving a 100-inch TV, it may not last the move. So, but Techno Dad, how big of a TV are you willing to spend? Because these 100-inch TVs are down to $3,000 now. Mini LED. I mean, we're talking thousands of dimming zones, high performance from Hisense. This is why people are asking, would you consider a $3,000 100-inch TV?
Well, Hold on a second. I'm replying to Doris Mom. I ditched because they're talking about I would recommend the same stuff as Spare Change. No, I wouldn't. I actually ditched my $10,000 speaker system, and I have one that's less than $700 right now, and it sounds awesome because I tuned it properly. That's
there
all.
you go.
Like
there
the
you
whole
go.
thing about like this whole speaker thing, like and I would never recommend a Kaleidoscape. That thing's absolute. Look, I made the disc, and I'm asking Kaleidoscape, what files do I send you to make it lost? Like, there's no other way I could send you more
Right.
lossless files. There's no way.
Right.
There's no way. So how does this work? So like, if you don't lump me in with Spare Change, I did videos with him long ago, but dude, he's on that whole Trinov life.
Trinov life. Trinov life.
Yeah, like oh, dude, nobody needs that stuff, right? Then nobody
I
needs
love that Trinov life.
But I ditched my $10,000 speaker system for I got these speakers on sale for $118 for the 2 towers each, and $105 for the center channel. And then Joe gave me so if I actually had to pay for the surround speakers, I'd be in it for under $800.
So you truly are using the spare change from your couch to buy this stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so don't
Keeping it real, man.
there with spare change there, Doris.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Yeah, no, the monoprice monolith T6s were on sale at
Love
Target for $120 each. And then I looked at the center channel, it was $105. I'm like, dude, I got a front stage for less than $400. I was so excited. But as far as your question is concerned, dude, 100 inches, bro, is a lot. It's a big space. I would have to have a nice big wall for that. But the price is going down. That's amazing. Brandon, I was talking to Brandon the other day, and he said he loved that A wall.
Yeah, 150 inches. You can't go back.
Yeah, once you have a light controlled room, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. Oh, and before we get to your super chat, Tito, real quick, I was going to answer this. Doris wants to know, did you guys meet at Audio Advice? And my response is, I met Techno Dad way back when I started my channel, and I reached out to him, and then I guess we started talking, and then just got to know each other. Like, we talk offline all the time.
Yeah.
So it's
and then
kind of all of us,
we met all at the what is it called? The shootout. I was a judge at the shootout for at least 4 different years. 2018, 19, skipped 2020.
That's right. We hung out at a shootout several years ago in person for the first time. We met at the shootout. I remember that.
And then I've been on Brian's channel. Dude, that was a long time ago. I was
on your channel.
Oh, that's right. You were on my channel. Yeah, you guys didn't know. Yeah, I'm an OG. My channel.
He is.
20.
You are OG.
And we had a FOMO. So FOMO, if you guys didn't know, I found Brandon and Be the Installer, and he had this great video. And then I started talking to him like, hey, why don't you get on our show? And he was on the Daily Hi-Fi podcast with us and the Daily Hi-Fi crew. And then we had FOMO on, and FOMO saw Brandon on there, and that's how those guys met. And then they started a live stream with Pass the Remote, and then Lassie and KG joined up, and then it's just been kind of growing. That's how that all happened.
We're all in the same universe, Doris. We're all in the same universe.
Yeah. We all had to fight off that hater, the one hater.
Man, and you're invited, Doris. You're in our universe.
Yeah.
Hey, Tito. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Getting an 85-inch X93L, which is essentially last year's X95K on Monday, coming from a 75-inch 940E. What's the biggest difference I will notice? Movies Gaming, HDR. Your HDR experience is going to be phenomenal because you have great blooming control. You're going to see specular highlights that's not on the 940E. SDR will look similar, right? But the HDR content on the X93L is just, you sit there, you're going to binge watch Netflix and Disney Plus, anything with good HDR content. You're going to love it.
Well, Tito, the biggest difference you're going to see is the 940E cross shadow detail. So did the Z9D. So you're going to have the same level of local dimming. You'll have the same amount of blooming control, but you'll have more shadow detail. And the pixel response on the 940E was painfully slow. You had a lot of blurring in gaming. You'll have that gone. So you're going to have an improvement in every single level. It's brighter. It's just a better TV all around. 940E was awesome. It was like a baby Z9D,
Right.
but you're going
Remember
to
that one.
see
Yeah.
big improvements over it.
Like you are jumping. It's just it's the
And
alphabet.
size.
You're jumping from E to L.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like
Yeah.
30 steps in between, right?
There you go, bro. It's all
So-
about the alphabet.
Yeah, that's how Sony labels their years, right? So
Yeah.
I remember the 940E, and you are definitely in for a huge upgrade. I think all around, and if it's I think blooming is maintained a little bit better on these TVs this year. So
Yeah, they used to crush it. That's why blooming was good in 2016, but they crush shadow detail. So now you'll see the detail and have very little blooming.
Yeah.
that's what I like. I hate. blooming.
And
I'm such an OLED guy that I'm like, I don't even want to.
I'm allergic to it.
I'm allergic to.
I'm allergic, like, oh my god, I got something on me.
Get off the screen.
Oh my god, what is that? I got an itch.
And EHA says, to all my love slaves out there, Thunderlips. I don't even know how to respond to that.
That's Rocky 3, baby. That's Hulk Hogan and Rocky 3.
Oh,
Is that it?
Oh my god, Tona. Yeah, he's like, you remember
All
Rocky
right,
3 when
guys.
he's in there?
I'll take this as the last super chat. If you have any more questions, you know what? Just post in the comment section and we'll try to get to it. JJ asks, A80L versus A95K. They both have the same MediaTek chip, 3 gigabytes of RAM. Low, if you ask me, yeah, it is low. What tricks does the Master Series have besides the heatsink? Well, that's it. Well, the A80L has the XR clear. The A95K Master Series means that they bend the panels, so they choose like the best panels. It has the A80L is pretty good. The A95K, it's just the parts, all the little things. It's very design centric. It sits close
Beefy.
to the
It's got a
table,
beefy feel to its heavy.
right? Yeah, you cannot put a
premium.
sound bar underneath it. The A95K is a good looking TV. I'm watching it still. I have it in my bedroom. The A80L is the WOLED version. The A95K is not. So one is QD OLED, one is WOLED. A95K is going to have better uniformity because it's QD OLED, and Sony does a great job of bending their QD OLEDs in terms of uniformity. The A80L is not going to be as bright in certain HDR content. So, but the A80L has, does the A80L have gaming, the new game bar, Brian? I forgot.
It does,
I know
but
the
so does
A95L does.
The A95K does too. They updated it.
Oh, okay.
So they have it.
But,
So,
oh, now, before we go, though, I know, Chana, you asked earlier offline, you were shopping for a TV, right? Did you decide what TV you wanted to get? Or are you still
So
considering?
it's not me. My mom wants it for her.
It was your mom. Okay.
Because what happens is she wants all the apps, and the current Samsung TV down there is old. It's before like inbuilt apps were any good. So I selfishly pointed her to the LG because it was cheaper, and she's like, oh, and she wanted a better color out of the box, and so I was like, oh, well then the Sony.
The minute they say color out of the box, they must be watching our channel because no one ever says the word out of the box other than enthusiasts. Right?
Okay, so she said, which one has better color? And I responded with, well, out of the box, the Sony. Because if I get her the LG, she'll be like, the color's not right. She'll be like, fix it. And I'll be like, wait,
Yes.
no, I want one to have better color out of the box so I don't have to deal with it, right? All my TV calibration stuff is still in Mammoth.
What was her budget again?
Dude, she doesn't have budget, bro. It's just the size constraint of 55. She has a 55 down there now, and that's
Oh, then you're definitely getting her the A95L.
A95L.
King of TVs, baby.
yeah, that's the flagship, baby. Best TV in
King
the
of
world.
TVs.
Oh,
It has,
no, we don't need that. No, we don't need something that fancy.
Then the X90L.
Yeah, price gets to be an option there, right? Like,
The,
damn, look
the,
at
X,
no.
the X90L.
for what she's watching, so she like watches a lot of Bollywood stuff. So
Okay.
she is she
What
does not watch
resolution is that at?
anything. Nothing in 4K. Nothing. Absolutely
720. That's
nothing.
Is it
Yeah,
streaming?
X-
Bollywood streaming?
No,
means XR
it's,
clear.
it's Dish Network. You guys know like DirecTV. There's another one called Dish Network. So
Mhm,
Dish
mhm.
Network has something called ZTV. So it's like a block of like 6 channels that are all straight from India.
Okay,
right?
then you definitely X90L with the XR clear.
Yeah, XR clear.
You'll love it. XR clear.
It needs the upscaling of an E
90L.
LED.
Okay.
Yep.
X90L.
X90L.
I was going to point her in the direction of an OLED, but I guess if the 55
Well, because the XR clear cleans up the dish stuff. A80L would be your OLED version. So the A80L
Oh, you know what?
or the
Actually, hold on, China. A75L.
A75L. The
That's-
A75L is on discount.
That's a more.
And you
affordable
know,
A80L.
China, if you
Uh-huh.
call Robert, he'll get you an amazing deal on the A75L because you were a judge at a shootout.
I was part of the crew. I was part
Well, I
of
would
part
say
of
if
the
you're going to
crew.
get a deal, get the A80L instead with a better audio.
Yeah.
A80L.
They're the same TV, just the A75 has less audio and different
okay.
build quality,
Mhm.
but they're
Um,
OLEDs with XR clear.
Gotcha. Well, this is an A80K, so
Last year's, yep.
yeah, last year's model, Sony A80L. I was looking
And
at that too, especially in the 55. It's not gonna like break the bank.
oh, A80L 55, phenomenal. It's under 1500.
Get
Yeah.
the 83.
Get the
You'll
80.
love it. She'll love it.
I
It
wish
kind of
she's got all kinds of junk there, and admittedly, most of it's mine because I set up a 7.2 at like surround sound setup there just out of college. So that was 2003, and it was the first Denon receiver that did surround back. I actually had to add an external amplifier to this. Dude, I've been
How
doing this for a
funny.
long time, bro. Long time, and it's still there. And it had a little. The AVR still has a piece of white tape on the input selector because that was for our grandma, my grandma, so she knew what knob to turn to go from one source to the other because she couldn't figure it out. She kept turning all these things. I can't understand. Can you?
See, this is what happens. Exactly. When you get your parents a TV or just anyone who's over a certain age.
Have
it's
you
gonna
plug
be-
and play, baby? Plug and play.
Exactly. So then she doesn't call me, like I'm like tech support, hey, Techno Dad here. How can I?
We all are.
We
all are.
To my viewers, not a problem. To my family, I'm just like, nah, go ask somebody else. I was at a Thanksgiving thing, and my cousin's like, "Oh, you're the DJ. You pick some songs." I'm like, "No, I am done picking songs, bro. I am not trying to. I don't know what kind of music you guys like. I know what I like."
during turkey dinner.
Yeah. And then
Exactly.
someone else was like, "You couldn't afford him anyway, John." Telling my cousin she can't afford my services.
Try leave him a bill at the end of dinner. It'll be $5,000.
No curry
want
for
the
you, my
electric-
son.
If you want the electric slide, it's a more.
It's more, yeah. Oh man, I miss you guys, dude. I can't wait to hang out and again.
Wait, I have to get this. Brandon,
What's up,
did you
Brandon?
get the link?
What's up, B?
You're free to come on now.
Hey,
I'm
Brandon.
ending in a few minutes though, so I don't want you to jump on just for me to say, see you later.
Yeah. We're out. What's up, Brandon?
Hey,
Where's he
Brandon,
going?
thanks for coming by, buddy. Let me get to Angel's super chat real quick. Help debate with wife. So they're arguing.
Oh,
We
marriage
can't decide on
counsel.
which TV to purchase: the LG G3 or the A80L, 83-inch models. Our first OLED. So you got to know the G3 at 83-inch looks identical to the C3 at 83-inch. So you're essentially paying for the beautiful frame-like appearance that's close to the wall, right? You got the metal housing, very fancy looking. That's what you're paying for. And the G3 has a 5-year panel warranty. The Sony does not. However, the Sony A83L or A80L, 83 inches, I believe is the better image quality for streaming. So if your wife and yourself, Angel, watch a lot of streaming content, I'd go with the A80L. You're going to enjoy all the streaming content more on the Sony. The G3 looks better on the wall though. So maybe your wife might prefer that. Now, they both look good enough that I wouldn't say break up your marriage over it because you'll be happy with either one. But the A80L streaming stuff, just rough streams, YouTube TV, YouTube. If you don't have great internet, the A80L cleans up very well. Even if you're using Apple TV, it cleans up all the streaming stuff a little bit better. The G3, you're paying for the physical appearance when the TV is off. But the audio on the G3 is terrible.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get a
Definitely
soundbar.
You have to get a soundbar. So keep that
Yeah.
in mind. A80L.
Well,
you
terrible
do not need
compared to the A80L. Yeah. I mean, it's right there. Brian's got the A80L on the wall right there.
that. 83, baby.
That's right. That's
Of
right.
course, Mom, I dumped my husband.
Well, see, they're saying my point is Whisper and FOMO want your wife to get the king of TVs, Sony A95L.
A95L, king of
A-
TVs.
A95.
If only it came in the 83
And then
inch.
I dumped
right?
my husband. I'm like, oh, ooh, ouch.
You're like, oh, where are we at with that?
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
damn.
And Doris wants to clarify. This is what I mean: audio home theater mindset versus the FOMO universe.
Oh, what's the
Man,
phone?
that audio home theater universe is so complex. I just cannot. It's a rabbit hole. You know that. You know that, Shauna. It is such a rabbit hole of. And all I have to worry about is peak specular highlights,
How's it look?
uniformity,
Yeah, when you get
skin
into
tone, right?
Yeah.
These guys, so does a speaker, is it wide dispersion, narrow dispersion? What's the uniformity in terms of the, right? What are your
And
speaker setup? What
Well,
angle?
what's
And
interesting?
we haven't gotten to anything else yet.
What's interesting to me is that with the TV, you're right. You can just look at it and tell. With sound, it's so subjective.
Oh, dude, it's
One
horrible.
person hears this, one person hears that. Oh, I didn't. Shane's like, oh, I switched out the cables to these expensive cables, and now it sounds like angels are singing in my music. Like what?
So Chana, we were at
Angels
M-Wave.
are singing.
So Chana, we were at M-Wave and we sat in this amazing system, and this
Yeah.
guy went through all this trouble of playing Top Gun for us, and he said, "What was the term he used?" He's like, "Well, for the sound level, this is what I want." I'm like, "You need to turn that up, please." He had these speakers that were bigger than me. We were listening away so low, but
Mhm.
that was his preference. And I'm like, well, your preference. Do you see what I'm saying? So now we're into preference.
I heard that they weren't even turning it up to where you could, like the woofers were moving, and I saw
in one room, in the SVS room and in the adrenal room, they were breaking our walls in. But
Right,
at this other room, we had all the amps.
Mhm.
You had 10 of them lined up. I'm like, dude, you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
turn that
I
up.
think that was the JTR room. That had to be the JTR room.
Yeah, but even my amps, I have an amp pushing my Polk audios. The amp costs more than the speakers. Is it the right amp? And then you're like, now you're thousands of dollars in. It's kind of hard to even get a straight answer from the speaker community.
Oh, that's what Doris is talking. Doris is selling her husband's 9.2.4 B&W sound system on a fire sale. Black Friday sale at Doris's house.
China's like,
where do you live?
Damn, I see what's happening.
And put the address in the chat.
Okay. Well, let's not get crazy. We don't want to let everybody know where Doris lives. That's not a good thing. We got to think about safety first, Brian. Safety first.
Yeah. It's not coming to my house.
Yeah. Or whatever the sexy pad is behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
the sexy pad. It's not a love nest. It's a sexy pad. I have to remember that.
Oh, don't worry, they can't see.
All right. I'm gonna take a few more questions, guys, and then we're gonna end it. You guys have been awesome. I'm running 3.5 hours. I gotta go to the gym. Vishal Desai asks, we cannot decide between a 77-inch LG B3 OLED or the LG C3. I got an extra 10% through my employer on LG. So I am getting the B3 at 1600 and the C3 at 2230. Get the B3 at 1600. The living room is not too bright. I don't believe the C3 is worth $600 more. Now the C3 is slightly brighter. Yeah, it's got 4 HDMI ports, but it sounds like you just need a good OLED to watch TV. Living room is not too bright. Enjoy the 77-inch B3, but more importantly, enjoy your savings. $1,600 for a 77-inch is amazing, and you're not going to get $600 worth of an upgrade going to the C3. Now, if this was a G3 at 2230, all day long, right? Brian,
Agreed.
Your thoughts?
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, you have the better processor in the C3, but I don't think it's enough to discuss. Not enough to make up for the difference in price.
And Michelle wants us to know.
Michelle.
She is upgrading to a 98 or a 100-inch TV. Hey,
Question, Michelle, is: will you keep it or will you return it? That is going to be the question.
Is it good enough for you?
Is it going to be something Michelle's all about? She loves them, but she'll send them back. Let us know if you keep it, Michelle.
Doris asking, why am I not eating during the show? I usually do that in my show.
It's too respectful.
Yes, I'm in the FOMO universe. Gotta respect the FOMO.
FOMO universe. And Mastrov, great question. I love this one. Looking for best TV for sports. TCL. Bright. TCL QM8. LCD TV, TCL QM8, amazing,
No doubt.
super
Absolutely.
bright. It's gonna last.
Hockey and
no,
everything.
I don't know if
for
it's
that.
gonna last, but yeah, hockey, everything, right? The TCL QM8, it's easy. Settings are easy. Just got one setting, nail it. Boom. I really like the TCL QM8 just for watching sports. It looks good. Now, if you're more sensitive to skin tones, you want your host, you want Colin Coward skin tones to be more accurate, then you can go with a Sony X90L. But I would choose for motion and the subtleties of sports, Sony X90L. For just impact and bright everything, than the TCL QM8. So choose one of the two, right? The Hisense is kind of caught in the middle. So if you want all the subtleties in the sports, the contrast, and it's still bright, Sony X90L will do that. But if you want even brighter, slightly brighter than X90L, then TCL QM8. They're both very impactful. No, you know what? I take it back. I just talked myself in for you getting the Sony X95L because I forgot what's your budget. The X95L 85-inch is the outright best TV for sports because XR Clear for sports, YouTube TV, dish, doesn't matter. Cable, it's going to make it look good on the X95L, and it's 85 inches, and it's bright, and it's a flagship experience, but it's around $4,000. So it's either that or save money, $2,000 for that 85-inch X90L, because I like how it cleans up the image in sports, or just impact, then 98-inch or 100-inch Hisense U8K for $3,000. There you go. That's my list. Guys, what are your suggestions for sports? What are you thinking?
Perfect. I will go with that. That's perfect. I concur.
Well, what do you say?
I concur.
Sports?
I
Okay,
concur.
I concur. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Or do you watch
is he
sports?
talking to somebody? Is he talking to somebody over there?
Is it-
Yeah. I concur.
I threw the baton at you too quickly.
No, I agree. I can't add much to that.
Oh my god,
Sports is
hand
very
it, not
specific.
throw.
Sports is very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Michelle, 100-inch U8, perfect for sports. That is the TV I would get for sports, personally. It's a 100-inch TV. It's $3,000 if you can ever get it, because you got to jump fast. But that, I mean, oh man, the immersion, it's just amazing. It makes up for all the differences that XR Clear brings to the table because it's just so immersive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what they
Most
say?
def.
It's not
Yep.
the eyes that count.
No replacement for displacement. Because this is a Hallmark friendly game, a Hallmark friendly stream.
Yes, that's exactly. This is a family.
And I don't have a private video section at the end of this like you all do.
Yeah, exactly. A little curtain.
Curtain in the back there.
Oh,
Video
wait.
store. Hashtag.
Okay.
Oh, Dan, finally. Here we go.
Finally, Dan, we got your super. So you have to remember, Dan sent me a super chat, $10, like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
And it says super chat. And all he said was
right.
light controlled room. That was it. Just light controlled room.
He broke it down to
Yeah.
series, like segments.
No context right now. The super chat rolls in the entire question. Light controlled room, Netflix, YouTube, Prime, Apple streaming. All right, so Apple, I guess Apple Plus, YouTube TV for NFL. Yes, I do it for college football. Coming from Samsung Plasma, looking at a 77-inch or 77-inch A80L. You got to go with the 77-inch A80L because you guys know, if you watch our channel, the A80L with XR Clear, if you're just streaming and this is all you're doing, and it doesn't look like you have any high quality content, meaning Kaleidoscape or Blu-ray disc or whatever, the A80L will clean all of that up better than the other options out there. Boom, A80L, 77-inch. You will love it.
You know, one of the things to definitely make sure that your viewers or anybody buying a TV is if the TV has feet that are wide apart, make sure you have enough space for on that stand. You know, because I'm used to a pedestal stand where like, oh, we don't need a whole like wide.
Yeah, Samsung is center stand typically.
Yep. Samsung, LG, yeah, like Sony ones.
Yes.
Like sometimes they're a little far apart, man. The last Sony I reviewed, they sent me I'm like, send me a 55-inch. They sent me a 65-inch because, you know, they were like, oh, let's surprise them. Like that doesn't help, bro. I had to like get
Yeah.
a tabletop from IKEA to put it up and then put the TV on because the feet were too wide apart.
Yeah, my
I know, like-
83 is using the center or the
Center channel?
more narrow one. It's a
Oh,
more
the narrow feet position. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
up, man.
And we're going to end with this question
right.
because Zemo hasn't been watching our channels. That's why he's asking this question. Hey guys, is the S90C 77-inch a WOLED panel using quantum dot technology? The answer is no. It is using only quantum dot technology,
Yep.
QD OLED. So it is using blue OLED with quantum dot color converting layer in front of it. Whereas a WOLED panel does not use quantum dot at all. It uses a color filter and completely different technologies. One is from Samsung, which is the S90C 77-inch using Samsung displays, QD OLED technology. And confusingly enough, the Samsung S90C 83-inch actually uses WOLED panel without
Yep.
quantum dot technology. So if you are getting the S90C and you're thinking 83-inch, know that you are not getting a QD OLED. You're getting just a regular WOLED similar to the C3 and so forth. Whereas if you want to stick with quantum dot technology, which is the next generation of OLED technology, you got to stay with the 77-inch and below. And that would be the S90C 77, the S95C 77 and below, and the Sony A95L 77-inch and below. I figured people may not know this, so. And let's
What is that?
see. Thank you, because they look identical. I bought the S90C. I got the right TV.
Got
Are
lucky.
you telling me that they're changing the technology depending on the size of the TV?
Oh yes, you didn't know
There's
about
no-
this?
there's
I mean,
no- there's
so
no
much
QD.
confusion.
There's no QD
Well-
OLEDs at 83.
Okay,
They
I
keep the
gotta
same
show you. This. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So if it's 83, it's a WOLED. If it's 77 and below. But why didn't they just give it a different model designation?
They're
Nah,
supposed to.
see,
they did.
you see how confusing this is,
Just
right?
screw with you. This is exactly like when Samsung
This is
now
not
do
QD
LED
OLED. Yeah,
and they just made it look like so similar to LG's OLED that people were just like, "Oh, this is like an OLED."
Yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
yes.
They're so confused.
Yes.
This is absolute garbage. I can't believe that. No, I can believe they're doing this. I can totally believe it.
Now,
And is Tizen OS still as garbage as the S95B?
it's better. It's faster.
It's faster.
Same Tizen, but they definitely addressed the snappiness, so it's much faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the thing where it tries to figure out what the device is for like 2 days? Is that,
Yes,
what
that's still. I mean, it's faster, but it's not perfect.
Can you turn it off?
No.
That's why I'll never buy a Samsung TV. Never.
Well,
Never.
get a Sony, man. Get us this year. The Sony did so well.
Yeah,
in
no,
everything. I mean, we love it. We
Yeah.
think it's great.
Yeah. No,
Definitely.
it's funny. It's funny. I can't. Oh man, I guess I might have to go to CES if you guys are. You guys going? You going?
Yes, absolutely. We are going.
Brian, what do you
You
guys?
better be there.
Are
Hey,
you like?
Shauna, I'll tell you, if you go,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to go out to dinner. My treat. Go, and
Okay.
I will treat you out to dinner.
Well, if I go, I definitely, dude. The piano bar at the Bellagio has a caviar service. So if you ever, I definitely want
Caviar service.
caviar service. Yeah, that's dessert, bro. You have a little champagne,
Oh,
with
man.
caviar. Yeah, dude.
Okay,
Yeah, dude.
you're definitely rolling with spare change now.
Brandon, Brandon, what do you call it? He met me up over there, and he's like, "What's going on over there?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, having some caviar. Come roll by." He came in, and he's like, "Hey, this
I
is."
remember.
He's like,
Brandon's like, I'm gonna go hang out with Chana, and Brian like, I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it.
I put out videos while you guys were doing that.
Oh, Brando's still here. You know, I know. I'm working on housing or not housing, a room, and I already have my
Housing.
I already have my ticket. You know, my media ticket, media badge. That's all squared away. It was just a matter of like, with everything happening with me moving, I didn't know if
And because this, I wanted to bring this up. Magician says the S95C is better than A95L, and this is why. This is why.
Shots fired.
No. This is why I predicted that the S95C would win the shootout. It felt more accurate than the A95L, and I thought the judges would have seen that, but they did not. And I'll tell you where they were at. The A95L, its processing cannot be turned off.
Mhm.
And so it's
Mm.
slightly over sharpened, and it adds an extra brightness to specular highlights that the original content did not have. So when you have it next to a reference monitor, the S95C looks closer to reference A95L, but only in certain scenes. Other scenes they look identical, right? However, the S95C, when it came to low grayscale, low luminous grayscale, it had a color shift that A95L did not have. And so it got nailed on that, but it got nailed so hard that A95L won. But in Europe, when they had the shootout, the S95C beat out the A95L
Mm.
in darkroom, accurate mode,
Gotcha.
which is what I thought would have happened. And so, and Magician, if you don't know, he is a calibrator and he calibrates Hollywood studios and all that stuff. And his personal TV is a Samsung QD OLED, I believe, right? So yeah, thanks for that reminder that,
What's up, Magician?
A95L is not the king for everybody.
No.
No, and the shots were fired. I wanted to give, because I know that Classy loves the A95L, and he chose that. And Magician adds the balance, and we all know each other. So he's like, hey, I'm a calibrator, and I think the S95C is better.
Mhm.
So I love the balance we have here. And before we head out, Doris wants to know, what happened to Vincent? Is that like where's Waldo? I don't know.
What happened to him?
Did something happen to Vincent?
I don't know.
The last I saw, he posted that he was on a plane leaving Mount Fuji, and haven't heard from him since. So maybe he's still on his way from Mount Fuji.
Maybe he's
Yeah.
on vacation.
He's on vacation. He should be. We should all be on
I
vacation.
didn't know it was my turn to watch him.
All right, guys. And with that, we're going to end. I got to go hit the gym. But hey, thank you so much. I put the link to my chart below if you guys want to check out the latest deals on Black Friday. Now, if you're using the Samsung link, make sure to go into chat and try again. If you are one of the members, right? AAA, government, military, and whatnot, educator. So that's the best deal for any Samsung product, really. And their sound bars really deeply discounted. Until next time, my friends, thank you, Chana, for coming by. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brandon, for showing up. Stop the FOMO.
Later, guys.